So her mother is black, but the father has the dominant gene. I just mentioned that. And in America, that's what they base that off of. That's just fact. The only time they go off the mother if the mother is American, and her mother is not black because her mother is not from America either. She's from over there too. There is no such thing as black people. Let me explain something to you. Black only exists in the United States of America. Leave the United States, please, before. See, my problem is when we have these accountability conversations, I need factual conversations. So before you guys come to the table, do me a favor, travel a bit abroad and realize there are certain things that are limited to America, which is why I have a very interesting statement that I say in the intro for my page, that I'm having conversations about issues that affect the Black, brown, and melanated community in America and abroad. So I say that for a reason. On all documentation, on birth certificates, and all of that stuff, there is no race for us, for anybody else but America. The only thing that exists for everybody else on their official documentation is their citizenship status. And that's typically from whatever country they came from. There's no such thing as a black and a white African, a black and a white European. It's just, I can't. Just saying. So sometimes we can perceive that a thing is happening that isn't happening, and that's fine if that's what's happening for us. But I think that we have to be, as Mario J says, adult up. So you got to be an adult enough to admit it. What I'm not going to do, MoneyBoy Trey, is entertain you. Hold on just a second, you guys. I figure out what's going on with one of my MacBooks doesn't want to connect to the internet. And I don't know any of these passwords or whatever. So, I'm not the expert here. Jasmine is. Okay, well, Miss Sandy, if I'm wrong, then, show me your citizenship papers. So all I need to see, so you keep saying lived outside of, but so when you've lived outside of someplace and that's not your country of origin, we can't have a conversation. So I'm Finnish American. So I need you to understand that it just doesn't exist. Or go find somebody else that has their citizenship papers. Birth certificates are citizenship papers, just to let you know. Oh, man. So looking at a person's skin color isn't a thing but here, because it doesn't matter. It has no validity. None of that. It says Finland. Finnish government. Of course, you can have dual citizenship, but on your citizenship. So let's look at an American. Let me do that. Hold on a sec, Trey. I gotta do this computer really quickly after I copy this link. Here you go. But so anyway, tell me, it's no race. We don't have race. It's not on any of our documentation. Any. And yeah, we are all happy because we're in all different shades. But guess what? What we don't have is the chaos that's here. Just don't. Why? Because nobody thought of dividing people based off of the color of their skin. Like it's really not a thing. It's just not a thing. It's not an intelligent thing to do. So look at you. You people are sitting here having emotionally charged conversations, right? About somebody having a perceptual racist experience. So nobody can just not like you because of your family that you came from. So nobody can just not like you because they feel like your mother was a whore. So nobody can just not like you because they feel like your mother stole their boyfriend. Like it's none of that stuff. It's just the fact that your skin color is brown. Help me understand. I guess that's where I get really confused, but I'm asking you to show me the racism and nobody's able to point out the racism. Show me the racism. Come on, Rush, show it to me. Where is it?
What up, Doc? Now you're saying some crazy stuff right now. Yeah, man.
Well, tell me where. No, point out the racism here. Point it out. I'll go directly to the minute and second.
Well, as far as Sharon Osbourne, like
yeah, point it out. Point it out.
Like
and hold on, let me get to the point. Hold on, I'm gonna wait a minute. I'm gonna go all the way as far as to let Cheryl start to defend herself. Okay,
I want you to hear from me.
Hold on.
I will ask. And the reaction.
Hold on.
Implicatism.
Hold on.
Exact words of racism. Mm-hmm. It's the implication and the reaction to it.
Implication and reaction to it. So wait, I asked you to point out the racism. And what you tell me is that, yeah, I said that you're a racist in a roundabout way. I accused you. But you know what? What I'm really saying is it's really just around implications and the acceptance of the possibility. Point out the racism. MoneyBoy Tank, where is it?
As far as this clip, I don't.
There is no racism in there because the person that she's claiming black is not black.
Yeah, but wait, no, she wants the fact that Morgan questioned Meghan Markle's authenticity of these racial barriers and this mistreatment based on her race, right? Not the family she comes from, because that's the part that Americans don't know.
No, but Cheryl prefaced it by saying he questioning a black woman's sincerity. Right. She ain't black, so you got there goes the racism. When you say that she's not black, the racism card is gone.
Oh no, because Americans can deem you black. They will give and take away your black card.
Well, I stopped being black when I didn't vote for Biden, so I'm
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you're used to hearing that. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Where do you think he got that from?
Right. Well, the only reason why I said drop the link, you said that as far as other countries outside of the U.S. do not look at racism.
It's not look at racism, sweetheart. No other country has a classification of
racism. I lived in many places.
You're American. You are American. So you have a race.
I've lived in many places outside of the U.S. and trust me.
Name
I lived in Central America, Panama. I've been in Dominican Republic.
I've signed a shitload of birth certificates of babies that I've delivered in every other country, and I've never seen race.
And I'm telling you, they're pretty racist. They even have special words for us in their language. You know what I'm saying?
So, okay, so you're talking about You're talking about the way a person looks at you and regards you from your country of origin. So when you call a Mexican woman Mexican,
not just me, the melanated people that's from that country are treated badly too.
No. So you're talking about treatment. So that still has nothing to do with a classification system of race. There is no such thing. So, for example, on your test,
would not agree with you.
Okay, I don't care what they agree about. I'm talking about the facts. On standardized testing, it tells you to select your race.
Especially the Haitians and Dominican Republic. They will let you know.
It doesn't matter. Even in Haiti, look, guess what? Even in Haiti, it's no such thing. On their documentation, it don't say select black or white Haitian. I'll wait.
Within that environment, you are treated differently because of the
but you're making a completely different argument. So race is a classification system that is significant to only America because that's the only place in which it exists.
No, that's not true.
Okay,
that's not true.
Okay,
if racism doesn't exist, so are you saying racism only exists in the United States of America? Black people aren't treated differently in Japan and China.
That's not right now. I'm saying race. But
for racism to exist in other countries, that means they have to base it off your race.
No, they don't.
So if there are black people that are in China that aren't from China, wouldn't they be?
If Black American people went to China and white American people went to China and Chinese people are in China, if a black person is discriminated against in China, or if a white person is discriminated against in China, it can be considered racism. Why? Because those people that they are discriminating against are the races where their country classifies them based on race. Race does not exist anywhere as a classification system of people except the United States.
Doug, I think you've been rich too long.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Race, you don't understand. Maybe you're not hearing. You're not hearing.
Well, I know racism exists up there in Canada. They look at blacks differently up there.
No.
I have several Canadians on the show that vouch for this.
I didn't say anything about colorism. I didn't say anything about racial disparities that are based off of people that come from America. I didn't say discrimination. I said race. Race is, let me look up the definition and pull it up for you so you can see what it is. Just wait a sec. I got you. You guys love Google.
Colorism is amongst every nationality. There are darker Hispanics than others. There are darker Indians than others. There's darker Arabs than others. So colorism is there, and those people are treated differently.
Okay. No, you're still talking about treating differently. So you're talking about
in the colorism aspect.
Discrimination and race. The word race is a different thing. I'm about to pull it up. Hold on. Wait for it. So, where are you? Google link. There we go. So, what does that say?
I didn't know you was going to ask me to read, Dr. Jefferson. Dang. Race refers to a person's physical characteristics such as bone structure and hair, skin, eye color, skin, race, ethnicity, however, and your ethnicity and skin, however, refers to cultural factors including nationality, regional culture. You got to slide it back over. Ancestry and language. You can have more than one ethnicities, but you are said to have had something if it's mixed race, even if it's mixed race. Well, it does say skin in there and race. It says skin and ethnicity.
No, so race exists here. Ethnicity exists everywhere.
But it just in race, it said that skin and ethnicity can be used for race.
No, they didn't. They said that's the difference.
It's in the first. It's
However,
in the second sentence.
No, it says ethnicity. However, that's how it's different. It refers to cultural factors. So race is here. Ethnicity is everywhere. So when I say race does not exist anywhere else but in America. It's a classification system that is used right here and only right here. When you go in and get your, what do you call that thing? Driver's license, right? What do you think you have to select on your application for your driver's license?
Here, you have to select black, white, Hispanic. Black. It says African American, white, Hispanic, Asian, other. I don't know about other countries.
Okay, hold on. Let me go and get a Asian person real quick for you to log in, so they can tell you what's on in Asia. Let me go to the part really quickly.
You've been rich too long.
No, go ahead. Read this.
The bottom part of it says you can have more than one ethnicity, but you are said to have one race, even if it's a mixed race.
Exactly, because
so it's still talking about you're black, white, or mixed.
That's still America's classification system. It's nobody else's classification system.
I need to see your birth certificate, doctor. It just say Finnish went under there because it's supposed to say whatever y'all is, Afro Finnish, Caucasian Finnish, whatever it got. I need to see the classifications on the birth certificate.
We don't have all of that.
Well,
what does it say then?
I don't know how to get down in Finland, but in other countries, if you black, you get treated like shit.
I don't agree. Yeah, nobody has ever in the history of my life treated me like shit at home. Ever.
Nobody. When was the last time you were there?
In my life,
maybe Finland different. Like shit
here. A couple of years.
I ain't never been to Finland. I ain't never been to Finland, but you know, you go to DR with that shit. They'll let you know you black real quick.
Miss Sandy says I'm living in a box. That's great.
We know Miss Andy is Kevin Samuels.
Right, Candy Girl. I think that they're missing that part. So I think what they're saying is they want to have the argument of discrimination. However, we're not talking about discrimination. We're talking about the classification system in the country, which is race. Now, it's very possible that since black people want to take everybody who looks like them and make them a black person, regardless of how they self-identify, Meghan Markle can be considered a black woman, right? And she can make the claim to racism. Yes or no?
Kimbo J. Tony Parker said he was a black Frenchman, sir. So now you've heard of one. Nicholas Batum says he's a black Frenchman. So that's two of them. I can keep going.
Not on any of their documentation. Show me a driver's license where it says black.
I'm just going off what these niggas said.
Yeah, because Americans label people based on the color of their skin. So colorism is a thing that has been around since America's classification system improved. What was that, 19?
But if you're not used to that, so why would you classify yourself as something you're not used to doing? Like you're not supposed to call. If he's never been called black in France, there's no need for him to come over here and say he's black. He can just say I'm French and leave it at that.
Yeah, unless he came from another place and his family came from another place and that's their culture.
Do you know? In India? Do you know what they do to the Africans in India?
What do you mean? Which Africans?
The Africans that's from Africa, but they reside in India.
Well, you could have asked the guy that was on the show.
Do you know what they do to them out there in India?
He lived there for 12 years.
They banished all the African descent people into the wilderness because
he never was banished, and neither is his sister. She's still there now. So that's what I'm saying. You guys hear a lot of stuff, and you tell yourself a lot of things.
These are facts. You could
have asked the dude. He was right on the show. The African guy that was on the show. The African guy that I had on the show the other night, you could have asked him about his vast experiences while living in India. That's where his sister and her husband live right now.
Well, he's probably wealthy. He probably
That
has money.
nigga was a
Lived there
simp.
for 20
He can't tell me nothing. He was a simp.
Oh my God. Okay.
He wasn't keeping it real.
Spanish or the Africans
Whatever
into
you
the
say.
wilderness
What if you
in
say?
India.
So
You know that, right?
look, they're just doing.
You know that dude wasn't keeping it real.
You can ask them if they
This
feel.
nigga talking about polygamy ain't a thing. Where in Africa he was lying. He just couldn't make this shit work.
No, it's not everywhere in Africa. That's what I'm telling
We
you.
know it's not everywhere, but he was talking like it. He was talking like.
Trust me, it's not as big as you think it is in Nigeria. Trust me.
Well, then he's still just speaking for Nigeria.
That's where you guys were talking about it. The person that was making
We were saying Africa.
Wait.
Oh, well, I know. I was saying Africa in general.
That person that was making those comments that night was specifically speaking to Nigeria. That's what a man
grew up. So Doc, what you're trying to say is that
can't tell him
that in Finland they don't look at you. They don't look at you as a black person. They look at you as a Finnish person, right?
That's it. Finnish American.
I believe
so. There's no prejudice on you being a darker colored Finnish woman.
No, never.
Hey man.
Like my very first time having conversations about anything American, or even we didn't even talk about skin color then. The first thing they wanted to know when I went was like, oh, well, how was it there? And, you know, is it true what they're saying about the division of the people and the fighting of the people? No.
Maybe Finland is different. I don't know. I've never been to Finland. Maybe they're not racist out there. I don't know. But I know in different countries, if you black, you get treated like shit.
Well, I've never been treated like shit in any country, and I've been to several of them. Now, I will say I've treated even better than in some places.
Where?
I've lived in China, Japan, Malaysia, Africa, in Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon.
Do you know what Africans call? Do you know what Africans call African Americans? Do you know what they call us?
I don't know. They call you Black Americans.
They call us akatas.
No, they
call us akatas.
So the ones who have an issue with Black Americans.
Hold on, wait a minute. Now, we can't skip this now. Do you know what that means? Akatas. It means a wildcat that never had a home. That's how they describe us. You don't think that's pretty racist?
No. I think that's just a group of people who doesn't like a group of people describing them.
you all. I don't know, man.
That's a bias. That's a bias. That's not inherent racism. Still, which I mean, are you going to call it racism because they're black as you are? So
you get treated differently because of, like you said, ethnicity and cultural wise, and the language you speak. Like for example,
So let's talk about that.
For example, if you're amongst the Latin community with pale, lighter skin Latin community, do you know what they call us in their language? They call us cocolo, muerto, prieta. These are all racial discrimination towards the skin color, and these are the languages that they use towards us.
No.
I speak two different languages.
So help me understand.
And like, I'm telling you, man, this other culture.
Exactly. So help me understand how you take the feelings, the sentiments of a select few of people, and you want to use that to be representative of everybody else.
Go out there as a individual and see how they treat you.
Russ, we can't hear shit you saying, Russ.
So obviously what you haven't seen is I have a very diverse group of people that I hang with. And I have lots of pictures on my several Facebooks of me in various countries with various women of various backgrounds. So while in those countries, in their hometowns and visiting their families and doing the things that we do when we visit, including going to Mexico, I just don't have those experiences. And you know what? I've never seen them be that way towards Black people either. And I could speak to some other ways that they are, but I'm not going to do that I'm a good friend.
The blacks out there in Mexico will let you know what time it is, man. They'll let you know they're treated differently because of their skin tone.
So Mexicans in general are
same thing in DR, same thing in Puerto Rico. They'll let you know.
Hispanic. Yeah, I was just about to say they have disparities amongst their own type of people within their culture or ethnicity. And Puerto Rican people feel the same way about them that some white people feel about some black people.
Dr. Jefferson.
So, go ahead.
2011 poll showed that 66% of Finnish respondents considered Finland to be a racist country, but only 14% admitted to being racist themselves. Minority groups facing the most negative attitudes were Finnish, Kale, Somalis, which were from Somalia, and ethnic groups mostly consisting of Muslims, which are typically a dark breed. In December 2012,
they're from India.
Indeed, they're darker. In December 2012, the Finnish police reported an increase in cases of racism and related physical abuse.
You know why?
This is where you from right there.
So you know why? Because when people come over there with certain things that come from their culture, we reject it. It's a natural thing. I said that culturalism is definitely an issue.
The racism is an issue over there too. It says Somalis. Those are black people. Somali. Okay, I'll give you everything else. Somalia. Those are people from Somalia.
Okay, so look at the reports. Look at the police reports of the people that made the reports that were Somalian. Show me one black one. Show me one dark one.
Minority groups facing the most negative attitudes were Somalis.
They are a minority group because they did come there fearing retribution from whatever it is that they say were going on in their countries, and they did a lot of things there that they should not have been doing. But go ahead. Tell me about what the color of those people's skin look like.
Now, you know darn well I'm not pulling up these people's police reports. They don't show that. But show me a whole bunch of light-skinned Somalians.
They have pale faces. They look just like what's his name is.
So there are no dark Somalians over there.
What's the rock name?
None. It's zero.
Dwayne Johnson. No, I'm just talking about the ones who made the reports.
Dwayne Johnson is Samoan, not Somalian. Somalia is the little poor country in Africa.
I'm talking about the skin color of, I don't know where he's from. I thought he was from America. But so the skin color of them look like him. So, and even
nobody would consider The Rock light skinned though.
I thought he was white. Just because you haven't experienced the mistreatment from being a black person doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Shout out to Miss Andrea for real. Big ups. And that's a fact. You know what I mean?
So you guys really think
I've experienced it living outside the country. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about this. So Miss Sandy is talking about 400. Slavery has been a thing since 600 BC.
Yeah, but we're not talking about slavery though. Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's what Miss Sandy says. Okay. After 400 years of slavery. So have we been on this earth over 2,000 years or 400 years? That's what I'm saying. Like you guys have the arguments are illogical.
Yeah, honestly, I think because of your social economic status, you might not experience the things a normal black person would experience outside the country.
I don't consider it to be a normal black person because I married a black man, and guess what? He didn't experience those racial disparities either. In or outside of my presence. I have 7 black sons.
If your money long enough,
they never experienced those experiences.
If your money's long enough, you might not receive the treatment of a person that makes $20,000 a year. You know what I mean? Like
so
look at LeBron James.
Okay, so wait, pause. So what comes along with the person that makes $20,000 a year? What comes along with it? What comes along? What's another component that comes along with making $20,000 a year in a place where you can only survive if you're making $50,000 a year? Run it.
You gotta. What do you mean by that?
what is something that goes along with, comes along? What are behaviors, characteristics that go along with people who are making $20,000 a year in an economy where, in order for you to just survive, you must make 50,000?
Well,
I'll wait.
Okay, I see where you're getting at, and you're kind of proving my point.
So that's not racism. That's classism. That's still not racist. What? So what I'm trying to get you to understand is that people will be discriminated.
You're not gonna show me. You're not gonna show me, homie.
No, I'm just saying. People will be discriminated against regardless. In Iraq and Iran, there are most people who are discriminated against. And they're all Iranian. They're all Iraqi.
Because of your socioeconomic status, you're not going to see the things you're not going to experience the harshness of life compared to an individual that grew up in a projects in Brooklyn, New York. It's just not happening. You're going to be treated differently because of your socioeconomic status. Now, because of your socioeconomic status, you're not gonna receive the harsh treatment from an individual. You're not gonna receive the harsh treatment from an individual that's poor and black. You know, when you're poor and black, you know you're reminded that you're a black person. But when you have enough money, when your money's long enough, you get exempt from certain things like that.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
So you just said when you're poor and black. So that means that you have to first be poor, right? So that's still classism.
You look at class. Listen. Okay. Let me explain it like this, right? Yes. You know, in different countries, black people are treated fucked up. But if your money's hold on. If your money's long enough, like say for instance, if I take the money that I make here and take it to like Colombia, I probably get pretty good because of my social economic status. But if I don't have that and I'm living in Colombia, I'll just be another black Colombian that get treated like shit out there because of my skin tone.
So here's the thing. What you can't say is there is racism where classism or socioeconomic status prevents you or shields you. For you too, Refron, you cannot say racism is the prevalent issue if classism or socialism, your socioeconomic status, shields you from experiencing said racism. You want to know why?
What I'm saying because of
you want to know why?
Because of your socioeconomic status supersedes all that.
Still, no, wait.
Because you're brand long enough, Doc. You're brand long enough. So
but still, do you want to know why you can't say that?
Well, I can't say that.
Because there are still several black people in many places,
and I'm telling you,
there are several black people, and just like the one I said, Morgan Freeman. There are several black people who were in the film and music industry prior to these advances that have been made in racism and all that good stuff, segregation, integration. There were several black people who experienced racism regardless of how much money they had, regardless of how much talent they had, regardless of how much money they had the propensity to make. They still experienced racism because racism was a prevalent issue back then. It was a prominent overarching theme of being in America back then. That is no longer the case right now. It just isn't. So for you guys to continue to pull the race card where racism is not an issue.
That's in your world, but in a black person world, we don't see that.
So wait, let me pull up Morgan Freeman's response to how it is that you end racism. Wait for it.
Well, I'm not going to take no advice.
I know what Morgan Freeman said. Ignore it, which I understand.
Stop talking about it.
Yeah, well, same.
You are constantly vicariously
he's a rich black man. He
talk about it.
Russ, are you gonna let somebody else talk, bro?
He wasn't always rich, first of all. That's the first thing. He lived through segregation and integration. That's the second thing. So the third thing is this. He realized, like me and everybody else that lived through that racism is not the centralized focus of being American now. The problem is you people handing down vicarious trauma because you think you know what racism is. You've redefined it and decided to put what you wanted in it. The same thing goes for the feminist movement. They've redefined the entire overarching theme of the feminist movement and decided to make it be what it is that they want it to be. It's the same thing that's happening with the English language. You redefine it as black
I guarantee
people
the Haitians and
make it
Dominican
what you
Republic
want
will
it
say
to
you're
be.
wrong. I
Period.
guarantee the Haitians and Dominican Republic will say you're wrong.
It doesn't matter. Here in the United States,
they're treated differently because they're
dark United States
and they speak a foreign language.
That's not the question.
That is racism.
Here in the United States, racism is not the centralized argument here. You can't come to America and make it if racism is a thing preventing you from doing it if you're an African.
You're just totally dismissing the fact what I just told you.
I'm not dismissing it. What I'm saying is
the Dominican Republic will look at you like you crazy right now.
So I know plenty of very successful Haitian lawyers.
Okay, then
and they agree.
Haitians and Dominicans don't like each other though.
I know plenty of successful Haitian American lawyers, and they agree with me.
Okay, and I
so
guarantee
the reality is the overarching. So it doesn't matter. So you're calling them a sellout.
We call them just for us.
Yeah, so you're calling them these names because they are the people who have superseded the expectation that you feel.
They sell out and they think they white.
Here and live in.
They want to be like white niggas. You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense.
If it's not true, and if this is not true, tell me why Sammy Sosa bleached the skin white.
So it doesn't matter.
He bleached his skin white so he can be accepted.
That's his business. What I care about is the propensity for succeeding in life if you put forth some effort, regardless of your skin color.
You don't tell me racism only exists in America. You're bugging right now.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's not the overarching theme in America, because if it was, people would not be able to come here with black and brown skin and make successes in a country that has an overarching racism.
You're saying that because in Finland they don't look at race; they look at.
It's not about that. It's not about that. Right now,
They do look at race in Finland because they constantly said black. They said black in the articles I dropped in there several times.
Find me one article that dates before 2000.
I just posted. I copied and pasted I copied and pasted 2 of the captions from the article that was done in 2015.
So before 2000, you're not listening. Find me one article.
It don't matter when they. It don't matter when they changed it. It doesn't matter when they changed it. They're doing it now.
They're not doing it now. It's not on your ID. So if they're not doing it, so it's not a classification system. It's something that everybody in the world is talking about because America made their imprint.
Did you not see the comment I dropped? Did you not see the comments from the article I dropped in there?
After 2000. It's after,
but because it happened after 2000. Okay, we still have to acknowledge that it happens now. They consider black people over there.
So the thing is, if you come from America and you go and you apply for citizenship there, you have to be considered black. Why? What's on your documentation? What's on your ID?
I just know it said black people. The 65% or whatever the number was said black people. And said black people experience.
To another country. If you go
to
as an American black person or white person.
But Somalis, we're gonna talk about the minorities that they mentioned, the Somalis and all of them, even all the ethnicities first. But I'm saying they started out listing the ethnicities, then they went down and said black people in Finland say that they're discriminated against, and black people with children in school. This is what the article said. Black people.
I'm sure they do. But if you come to a person's country and you expect for people to treat you a certain way, but they don't have to treat you that certain way, you're gonna feel like you're being outcasted. The reality is they don't speak your language as a native tongue. So at the end of the day, there are going to be some barriers to communication that make it look like it may be some bias there. It doesn't mean there's a bias there. It's the same thing that Black people get from the Hispanic people that are waiting in my waiting room. And then they get upset when they approach me and they're like, well, when I was trying to talk to them, they were ignoring me. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that they're racist. It has to do with they don't have the understanding for what your needs are or what you're communicating.
Parents in Finland with Black children also reported the highest levels of racial discrimination in primary education with the full 45, but it called them Black though, Black children.
So if you come from America, I'm going to say it again, and you are.
Why do you keep assuming that when they say Black, they're talking about Americans?
Because I already know. Why do you think I referenced after 2000?
Why wouldn't it just call them Americans then, ma'am?
They can't, because American system is based off of race. Maybe you're not listening.
So they've adopted American system.
No. So your classification system says Black, white, mixed race. Yes or no? Yes or no? So when you apply for citizenship in another country, what do you select as your classification system? Other. And you write in Black, white, mixed race. That is what you must write in.
But you're assuming that these people are Black. These people could have been these could be Black Finland. These could be Black people that were born in Finland. You don't know.
Yes, Black Finnish. There's no such thing. We don't have race classification.
Apparently it is. This is what the article's saying.
So in your culture.
So you saying the only Black people in Finland originate.
Oh, wait. I'm going to say it slowly. In your culture of origin, if your culture,
you have to say it slow. I can hear just fine. You don't got to say it slow.
Obviously not, because I've said it like 13 times. So,
and you're denying facts at this point.
Makes you Black by way of your documentation. That is what another culture must put on your documentations when you're transferring citizenship or you're applying for dual citizenship in their country, because you're now not French. You are Black. You're not Black American. You're just Black, because that's what's on your birth certificate.
But with all that being said, they still say they experience racism.
I'm sure they do, because racism is.
But you said it don't happen over there.
So racism is perceptual. So if I feel like these people are not talking to me, speaking my language, doing the things that I want them to do to shape and mold their culture to my needs, what else would I call it? If I'm Black.
You also said American. You also said that they don't call Black people Black over there, but you just said they got to call Americans Black.
Classification system.
You said it's not anywhere in the world but America.
Okay, so the classification system of Black and white only exists in America. Prove me wrong. Find it.
You just told us that in Finland, if you coming over there to get citizenship, then they're gonna call you Black based on you being American. So that's them being called Black.
No, your documentation requires them to address you as your official documentation, and that is Black, because that's what's on your documentation, unless you got something else.
So there is racism.
It's not
in Finland against Black people.
Perceptual. So if a person that is Black from America go there and they feel like they're being racially targeted or discriminated against, that's
the police reports say that racist assaults have gone up.
Okay, so
the police report said this.
What do Black people do here?
That's cool and all, but I'm just trying to figure out if Black is you. I'm just trying to figure out if Black is a universal thing or not. Because in one breath we say it's not universal.
No, I didn't. What I said is the classification system of race. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again because obviously it's not soaking in. The classification system that a country uses to categorize its citizens is what is in existence for their official capacity of labeling people within their community. So America's classification system is a race-based system. Yes or no?
I think my end is breaking up. You have to ask that question again.
Americans' classification system is based on race. Yes or no?
Yes, I didn't know other countries adopted our classification
So
system though.
when Mexicans come here and apply for citizenship, does it say black, white, Mexican?
It says Hispanic.
Does it say black?
So that's why I'm asking you,
white?
why in Finland wouldn't it say American instead of black?
It says, does it say black or white Mexican for your country of origin?
Yes, it says if they have a child, it would ask them black, white, Hispanic, Asian, other.
Nope. It doesn't.
Yes, it actually does say that in America. In America, it does. I can't speak for no one else, but I filled out a shit ton of applications.
Citizenship application.
Hmm?
Share it off your phone. Pull up America's citizenship application and share it off of your phone. Today,
fuck a citizenship application. If they go fill out a job application,
that's what matters.
A rent application asks them anything they have to do outside of the government.
Before
anything they have to do outside the government.
No, before you can do anything else, you must first be a citizen. So guess what? If you're not
no, that's not true. Illegals come over here and fill out shit all the time.
Wait,
and they put Hispanic down.
Okay, so look, is that black or white? Yes or no?
It's Hispanic.
Is it black or white? Yes or no?
No, because they have their. It's neither because they have their own category.
What's their own category?
Hispanic. Or do I need to say it slow? Applications. If they go fill out an application, you're a doctor, you've worked in the hospital, so you didn't see these forms filled out, and these motherfuckers say black, white, Hispanic, Asian, other.
They still have to select black or white.
Not at the hospital. The hospital, they got 4 options.
They do. That's ethnicity. So they still have to select black or white. They do. So in America, when you apply for citizenship, you must first indicate what is your legal documentation status. Your legal documentation status is whatever country that you are naturalized, where you were born in, or whatever the last country you had citizenship in. You must then indicate that particular identification or classification system. After that, you can move forward in identifying with a race selected by Americans' classification system. They must first select race. It's going to be black or white or both or mixed race. After that, they have to select ethnicity. Yes or no? Yes or no? It's on your standardized test too. It's on your driver's license application too. Make it make sense for me. So the point is this: race is a classification system here in America. That's indisputable. You can't dispute that. However, in this particular video, I'm trying to find out where the racism is. And I don't see it. Neither of you pointed out what racism is.
We both agreed that there's no racism within that clip you showed us. We understand that. But what you said earlier, you're saying that in different countries do not, I guess, they're not discriminative towards Black people. They look at everything as it's, I guess, from a cultural aspect. And we're saying that is not true. If you're a Black man, if you're a Black man in China, you're gonna be treated different.
Hold on. The official urban
if you're a Black man in Switzerland, you're gonna be treated different.
I'm not. What I'm saying is racism, the perceived racism that Meghan Markle has, is under question. Whether or not she even had racism to be a thing that she experienced based on her interview with Oprah. The fact that somebody questioned whether or not that was the truth or not, or whatever, now became a conversation where Sharon is accused of being racist as she supports Morgan. And his question as to whether or not she was telling the truth.
Yes, from that video clip, we can't see that. We can't see the racism. Yes, you're right. But as a Black man that lived in many different places, I can read between the line. Osborne, Mrs. Osborne is a racist. Her and her husband.
So maybe, so why can't she be? This is my question. Why can't she be just another white person who is absolutely sick of people saying that you are racist if you challenge anything that a black person says or does, whether they may or may not be right?
Now, I'm with you on that one.
So I think that you guys you mistook me several times.
Wait a minute, Dr. Jefferson, I got a question. When you say you guys, are you talking about black people or Americans? It sounds like you waving that Finnish flag right now.
Yo, for real. Yo, you sounding crazy right now.
Are you talking about me and Rush? Or are you talking about Americans?
Okay, then no, I'm talking about in the comments. So you guys are you're making an argument about racism, okay, in general. My argument is about whether or not Mr. Morgan is racist for asking whether or not Meghan Markle is telling the truth. So if a black woman
he's not racist.
If a black woman is saying, that she feels like Sharon is racist for supporting him, Cheryl Underwood is making that argument that these two people are racist. Clearly, she's making that argument. So I'm trying to find out where is the racism.
And here's the kicker. Cheryl then turned around and said, I'm talking to you, someone that I consider my friend. So if you've been my friend, you should know good and darn well that I'm not racist. So how would you say I'm racist for defending him and you're my friend?
No, that's not what she was saying. What she was saying is, because I think I'm having a conversation with my friend, I feel like you shouldn't be defending him. So Sharon was the person. Sharon Osbourne is the white woman in the film. And she's not even white, she's British. But
I know she is.
She's that's her, okay? And then Cheryl is trying to, maneuver her situation and manipulate the situation to get her to come around and say, okay, well, yeah, I can see how that could be seen as racist. All he did is question whether or not Meghan Markle was telling the truth or not. So you're telling me that people cannot walk around in this country now and question the validity of an argument of a black person unless they are black?
Well, no, not a black person, black women. The black men aren't having these issues. It's black women calling everything racist.
These black men right here in this chat. You guys in the chat, some black man speak up and tell me that you guys do not believe that this is racist. Because I see a lot of people saying, nope, that is racist. It is racist. It is racist. I'm trying to find out where it is.
In that clip, no, we don't see racism, man. But I can read between the lines.
This woman is about to lose her job.
I can read between the lines.
I can't read between the lines. I need to know for sure if a person is racist or not. So I'm not reading in between the lines because I might read in between the lines wrong.
Right, but the biggest thing, what you guys got to understand is racism is a perceptual thing. Because guess what?
It's not. Yo, you just slapped the 90% of the blacks in the world by you saying something like that. They will totally disagree with what you're saying.
So I'm just being honest. So my first experience with racism was when I came to America and I got off of an international flight and I was called a pretty little nigger girl. You have beautiful hair. You are such a pretty little nigger girl.
What state was that
racist?
In?
Was that racist or no?
What state was that in?
Was it racist or not?
Yes, it was racist, but it also was 1948, ma'am.
People don't even talk like that no more.
Times were different back then.
Dang, Doc, you just
I had to go and get one in since you won't tell me how old you are.
Turn your camera on. Turn your camera on.
You tell, ma'am, I am sitting around in my boxes. You don't want me to cut my camera on right
Nobody
now.
want to see you in your drawers with the taco meat.
Well,
Okay.
that's why the camera's off as well. I told you don't want to see that.
So what I'm saying is racism is perceptual. So a couple of things in that moment, right? All I did was turn around and I smiled and I said, "Oh, thank you." Well, for one, I had a limited language understanding anyway. I couldn't speak a lot of words, but I knew that when people make a compliment, you say thank you. And I had no idea what a pretty little nigger girl. And I know he just kept touching my hair and said, "Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at it. It's to her butt. Blah, blah, blah." So when I made my way to my grandfather and I was talking about it, he was, "Where is he? Where is he?" Go beat that some ass. Everything that you could think of was what were the words and the sentiments of my grandfather. Why? Because my grandfather's perception was that, oh, this white person has made this racist comment to my granddaughter. Okay? And my grandfather was racist. He was racist and was okay with him being racist. But he was not okay with somebody being racist towards his granddaughter. He explained to me what racism is then in that moment. And it still didn't make, to me, shit didn't make or break me. At the end of the day, if you are continuously, and that's why Morgan Freeman says what he says, if you're continuously having conversations and you're continuously teaching your children that everything is racism, and you're not drawing clear lines of delineation, even in your explanations, what happens is you see an abundance of people who see everything that happens in a Black person's experience where that Black person is discredited or rejected as racism. So the problem with that, I don't think you guys see the overarching issue with that. I don't care how you feel, and you guys can feel however you want to feel, perceive whatever experiences you want to experience as negative or positive. But the reality is, if you condition Black people like this, and you continue to condition young Black people like this, the entitlement mindset increases fourfold, fivefold, sixfold. Why do you think so many young Black people feel like they have authority over police officers? And some
that's a different situation.
No,
those kids are raised from a single motherhood, and they have a problem with authority because they never had father figure.
Obviously, you didn't watch my show the other day where my group member's child was murdered by the police. Per her, the father and the mother were both in the home, and they were both on the news. They were both shedding tears. But were they there when she at 1 a.m. drugged these police officers down the road, ran over this police officer in the car, didn't have on nothing but a tank top in the car, mind you? Help me understand. Make it make sense for me. Run it.
I don't know, but I don't.
But they have a Black civil rights attorney representing them because everything that happens to a Black person is about racism.
I agree with Morgan Freeman's statements 25% because I believe in the power of words and words casting a spell. But I also know that you can't forget history because if you forget it, you'll repeat it. So,
yeah,
so I told my kids about it, but I didn't tell them to be fearful of it, and I didn't tell them it. I was honest and said you may or you may not experience it. If you'll know when it happens. If you gotta ask, was it racism? It probably wasn't. You'll know.
Exactly. So it's not about deconditioning or deconstructing history. It's about giving them all of their history instead of limited purviews based off of only the negative rhetoric. So that's the only problem with removing statues. The only problem that I have with people having conversation about segregation, integration, and all of that, because what happens is young Black people, young Black parents do not know how to continue the historical line with accurate information instead of giving them only a part of the story. Give a full depiction of what it means to be a Black American, because let me tell you something, your children are not stupid. So at the end of the day, your children are going to be looking like, damn, Is it racism holding me back, or is it a lack of accountability? Because my friend that I went to school with just became a doctor, and here I am still sitting my sorry ass in the hood trying to sell these 3 rocks, and I'm still where we started.
Dr. Jefferson, someone in the chat asked a really great question, and I think you should answer that.
I don't know which one. I got too many comments.
It is the last one with the last one with the guy with the wrench.
Okay.
There you go, producer.
He not here. I can't get this computer to work. I'm not good with technology. Who is Jason Whitlock? I don't even know who that is.
He's a conservative journalist / TV personality.
So hold on. And if I don't see the whole picture, Jermaine G, that's what you're here for. Show me, paint the whole picture for me. I'm sorry for not going through you guys' comments. I'm gonna go through and see if you gave me the whole picture before, but go ahead and start typing now. That way, if I missed it, you know what I mean. It's still there.
You can hit the link and give her the whole picture, Jermaine.
Right.
She dropped the link. I don't know if it's still in there or not, but
it's okay to
no, it's gone.
This, but sometimes it's used for some situations that are not racist. Basically, the card is overplayed sometimes. My point exactly. So and I don't think that you guys are understanding that. So it's not that racism isn't a thing. The problem is the racism card gets played so much, and the entitlement mindset becomes so large that when your children are in the presence of police officers, because you've okayed them getting unruly in front of police officers.
That is not a racist issue. That's a single mother side effect.
I just told you that this 19-year-old girl that was killed in, what is that? Dalton, Illinois, the other day on the 27th at 1 a.m. when she ran over these police officers, drug another one in her car, ran into somebody's business establishment where they also live upstairs and fucked up all of their property.
If she died, she deserved it.
Father and a mother, and both of them were on the TV a couple of days ago. The mom is in my group, literally, and she's still posting justice for my daughter, Alexis.
No, your daughter got what she deserved.
No. And then now they got to go fund me. It's too many levels to this, okay? The problem is you guys don't see the problem because you want to overlook the issue. What I find to be very interesting is that it's mostly women that are really having the issue with coming to grips with this. It's not even men. I mean, I'm having this discussion with you guys and you act like you don't really know. But I'm going to tell you something about the young man that was in the car with that young lady. When the police said, get your ass out the car, he got out the car.
That's because we know they don't play with men.
No,
they let y'all get away with murder.
She shot the damn police officers, killed one.
They let women get
down the street. Like, come on now, ran over.
They let women get away with a lot more shit than they do men.
It would have been the same interview.
Actually, yes.
No, fuck that. They don't let men go back in their cars and search around and shit and grab cigarettes.
They didn't get the report for the man. That's what I'm telling you. The report was for her. She was at the drive-thru cursing out the people that work at the place for not being open at 1 a.m. when they're supposed to close at 4 a.m. And she had a gun. The report was made on her, not on the male. The male is obviously seeing that you are you've lost your shit. He's not crazy.
He also
I've not done anything, and I know you got a gun, and I know that you are just acting crazy, unruly. You don't want to comply with these police officers. I know that if I have a parent at home that's looking forward to me returning home at 19, I'm gonna get my ass out the car. Why? Because I know I've done nothing wrong but smoke some weed, maybe. If they find,
and I also know that's true too. He knew he didn't do anything wrong, but he also knew as a black man, I done seen too many of us get shot for not complying. So let me comply. Women get away with a lot of shit. The numbers, the list goes on of males who have been killed by police compared to women.
Hold on, that's true. your black, if you have any Black American, Afro American ancestors, they've already gotten their reparations. I don't know.
They got Liberia.
They have already uncovered so much for you guys in this massacre up there in Tulsa, including documentation. So if you don't know that your people have already gotten their reparations, then you're far behind. Like, I think I just put too much advocacy into fighting for this stuff to be unveiled, for so many Black people to be on this channel and you guys to be so unaware. That's what's interesting to me.
Al Show, I agreed with you up until you said numerous Caucasian people attacking African Americans in stores. It is not numerous. It's a few isolated idiots.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Trey, which is a shocker. Damn.
Whatever. So, Al Show, look, let me tell you something. I noticed that you've been kind of doing this quite a bit, but just because you're a white person doesn't mean that you have to try and pander to Black people, because some Black people will actually go ahead and say and call us anything.
Come on.
And if that thing's not thing, we're not going to go along with that just because it looks like you're agreeing with us. So the larger issue is more white people in these conversations.
Yo, he's kind of right, man. You do a lot of deflecting.
Who's deflecting? What for what? What am I deflecting on? Cocaine?
Money. Cocaine, sir. Not me.
Listen, man.
She said, run that smoke, nigga. Hit the link.
I'm trying, right. Hit the link if you got something to say, because I'm trying to run through these comments. And I think everybody who watches this channel knows that I don't do this. I have a producer for this, but I can't get my computer password.
Well, you got to learn, ma'am. You got to learn.
Cállate.
Oh.
So, says, world I'm living in is 100% fact that women get away softer. Okay, so help me understand the softer treatment. Well, Alexis is dead, so God bless the dead, okay? But how is that softer treatment? She just as dead as any other Black person that's a man that resisted arrest and shot at police officers.
She got the leeway to be able to drive off anyway. Had there been a man, she wouldn't have drove off. They shot the car. It was full of holes.
They shot the car. That's how she got shot. They shot the car. They shot the car. She got shot while them shoot. The one, I think it was the one that she hit with the car.
Probably because they gave her leeway like the asshole in Nashville. He let that woman
tried to pull her out of the car. They tried to pull her out of the car because they didn't want to have to arrest her. They wanted to address the issues that were brought up by the people on the inside. Tried to pull her out the car, and that's when she was like protecting her keys when he was trying to get the keys, because that officer was unprotected. He didn't have his gun out. You know what I mean? And because he thinking she gonna comply, because the guy done got out of the car, so obviously you fooled him. He thought that he had a good day at work, and look at him, still laid up, critical condition. Poor
hell, he couldn't have thought she was gonna comply if he was trying to pull out the car.
No, he was trying to get the keys first. So it started with him trying to get her keys. And then when she started to put the car in drive, it was him trying to pull her out of the car because he couldn't reach. I guess he couldn't reach for his gun, but the other
Black man would have got tased as soon as he said, "Give me your keys," and she didn't comply.
Ain't no taser even working. Like, what we talking?
But I'm just saying that's what would have happened. The black man said, "No, I ain't giving you the keys." Taser didn't work. You know what they going to next?
I don't know. Cocaine, you ain't hit no thing, and I don't believe that. That's how they typically, deal with folks.
I'm trying to tell you. You look at all these videos, they get to call police officers bitches and everything. Men don't. Men gonna get slammed on their head.
Wait, look at the comment. Jermaine said we need 500 years of reparations. So I don't know. My ancestors said that they were good with what they got. And they made well what they had. Right,
Jermaine. You saying you don't know no, like, Jermaine, none of the slave descendants are around, so you just want some free money now.
I mean,
do you even know if you are a descendant of slaves?
The last one of my slave descendants has just passed away. We buried her in May. So, but they got their money. I'm sorry, she was in her 100, but it is what it is. About a young lady who shot her sleep, said her man black. Yeah, it's a lot of things. I think so. What happens is, like I was saying earlier, if we continue to move around and okay these small things that don't really solidify the claims as racism, the mindsets of our young Black people becomes confused, but it also becomes inflated because they start to feel a sense of grandeur. And as a result of that, their interactions with other people of other races becomes very dangerous for their physical health and well-being. So here's what I'm going to suggest. I'm going to suggest this because I feel like what happens is when a bunch of Black people get in the same space and you guys are filled with folks that don't want to take accountability, you know what I'm saying? You end up going through situations very much like this one. And even though I hate to say it, like I'm going to say it, right? I'm going to call it a thing. The young lady whose daughter Alexis ended up dead, she's been on these accountability conversations. She's also one of the ones that deflects. She's also one of the ones that feels like Black people don't need any accountability. But she's also a mother who now has a child that's a hashtag. If it don't get realer than that for you guys, let it sink in. Because the reality is, if you don't care about your young people, what I can guarantee you is that them getting a civil rights attorney to add on to the fuel and get on TV and make it look like it's going to be something that it's not, I can guarantee you there will be justice in this case, but it'll be for these officers' families. It'll be for that business owner's business that her daughter ran right into. Who did you not see on the recording? The young man that was in the car with her. So if this young man that was in the car with this young lady, and no Black people are talking about this, y'all want to talk about everything but what matters. You got a young Black woman in a minivan driving, irate, with a gun, just over a restaurant not being open because they closed early. She has no drawers on, no bottoms on whatsoever. Like, hey. God, I just don't. What really grinds my gears is it's not even the fact that it's lack of intelligence. It's just lack of awareness. You guys will look at a thing and look right around it. Literally, because you feel like it gives you the right to call racism out and get something from it. Like many of you are talking about reparations being owed to you. The first thing that you would need to do is get some type of sense of what it is that you would do with your finances. What would you do with those, 40 acres and the mule? How are you going to cultivate the land? How are you going to prevent it from becoming indentured land? What's your money looking like right now?
I'm selling my land. I'm keeping a little bit of it for a house, and the rest of it is getting sold.
So I'm just saying, like, I asked these questions. How are you going to sell it? How are you going to survey the land? What if some of the land is over in a marsh?
What is the land? What if the land is in a marsh? Well, shit, you just got 40 acres.
40 acres. So
you can always, somebody will develop that marshland.
I can't.
Well, that's money that's owed to the FBA. That's owed to the FBA.
To be frank, you don't seem to have a grasp on how racism
it's a debt that needs to be paid.
Their lived experiences.
It's a debt that needs to be paid to the FBA.
Hold on, Rush. Al, go ahead and hit the link and put your cam on. And then
I ain't gonna do nothing. Al ain't gonna come up. You can tell who are keyboard warriors and who aren't.
What? Because here's the thing. If you're going to debate me and you're going to tell me that I don't know what racism looks like. So the thing about seeing people and having interactions with people on YouTube is that you don't know anything about those people, nor their history or their lineage. My history, I don't know about yours, but my history and my lineage is in your history books. So you read about my ancestors. This is what is forced upon your kids to learn about. So it's interesting to me how you have a lot of things to say, but the conversation that you're having is not with the person that you think you're having it with. So how about we do this? Racism is a perceived experience of people who associate the aggressions or the microaggression against them by another person as being tied to the color of their skin and their classification system of race within said country. Period, point blank. So it could be several people lined up to say that because I called a black woman a liar, because I called a black man a liar, I'm a racist. And I would give 3 fucks less. I'd say take it to court. Let's see what they say.
I think you're being a bit irrational.
No, I'm not.
Exactly. Yeah, you are. A liar is a liar. A liar, like
that's what I'm saying.
A white person, if a white person called me a liar and I was lying, I'm not gonna look at the situation that he's a racist. Like he just called me out that I'm a liar.
But literally, the Al Show here is saying that obviously that's what exists in this clip, and that's what we're watching this clip. The clip is about Meghan Markle being called a liar. She was called a liar, so that makes Norman a racist. Come on, y'all got to make this make sense to me. I'm sorry.
I told you from within that clip, I don't see any racism.
Yeah, there is no racism. But Cheryl Underwood just wanted to stir the shit.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And for you to come right back off of it, the same thing happened when I had, other clinicians and stuff on here. We did the accountability corner about the clinical component. It was a clinician who is a black clinician calling a white clinician racist because she was doing Medicaid fraud and got caught. So if somebody is asking you in an email, hey, did you make a mistake and bill the time that I billed for this client? Because I know I was with them during this time. What in that statement is racist? So when I say that, it's now a culture, it's a whole thing, because I could probably screenshot. So I could probably screenshot at least 1,000 posts that go across my Facebook news feeds every day, each and every individual day, about black people who think that microaggressions that are not microaggressions are racism. The problem is not that you guys are not privy to having racist encounters. The fact is, you don't understand what racism actually is. Just because a person doesn't like you, it doesn't have to be because of your race. It could be because of your class. It could be that you're walking around with your pants hanging off of your ass. It could be that you got an attitude. It could be a lot of things. People don't like me. You don't see me walking around saying, damn, you a racist then. They're entitled to not like me. And even if they are racist, that's their damn business. It's not my business. So they can be as racist as they want. Actually, I want to write that down so I can make sure that I don't have any interactions with them that directly support or pay homage to them.
Ding.
So I just think
Point
that
Dr. Jefferson.
You guys are just irrational when it comes to you. Everything is racist. You have to perceive it to be racist.
Nah, that we're gonna have a disagreement. When you say that racism is just off the person's perception in life, which I totally disagree. There's many of black people who will look at you and say you bugging.
Yeah, if I'm called a nigger, that ain't my perception. That person just told me what's up.
So when I was called a nigger, you know why it wasn't racism for me? Because I didn't know what the fuck racism was. More important, even after I knew what racism was, I still couldn't identify. You know why? Because I wasn't directly an afflicted and oppressed person. Now, I had lots of family members who were. They were, iconic figures in your civil rights movement. They started these movements, as a matter of fact. But guess what? Just because my aunt was discriminated against, just because my grandfather was discriminated against, my cousin, my uncle was discriminated against, that's still not my lived experience. So that doesn't make me call everything racism, because their experiences were perceived as racist by them because they were literally raised in a culture where race became a huge proponent of where you could and you could not exist, where you could and you could not eat, where you could and you could not drink water, where you could and could not sit on public transit, where you could or could not sit in restaurants, could or could not go to the movie theater. So these right here, these things where they were discriminated and denied access to these things because of their race, that's why they're racist. That's why they're discriminatory. Now, when a Black person tells me that the system is racist against me, my first question is, how did you get into said system in the first place? If the system is against you, the police are against you, and all of this stuff, how did you get there in the first place? When racism was a huge proponent that literally signified the existence of America, there were no Black doctors. Do you know why? Because literally the system was against them. So if you have Black doctors right now, show me how the system is racist, how the discriminatory practice of the system are written to be racist, because the reality is where racism is systematic and it is a centralized focus and theme, not people, but the system. Black people do not rise to the top. Black people cannot live in places they want to live. Black people cannot acquire success.
You're dismissing the fact as a dark individual that lives in America, we have a social disadvantage. I disagree with you.
So what are your social disadvantages?
I'm a Black man.
What are your social disadvantages? Trey, what are your social disadvantages?
I don't have any.
What are some of the social disadvantages, Rush? Make your argument, because I'm here for it.
Well, if I go apply for a job against a white individual that's not even educated, most likely he will get picked for the job.
Has it happened to you? If it hadn't happened to you, you can't say most likely.
It has happened to me plenty of times. When? I don't cry about it. I just grind hard and look for better opportunities.
So why did you just give us a hypothetical situation instead of telling us when you went the way you answered it
and I overcome it? You know what I mean? I'm not going to
be like you
guys dismiss the fact that there is a social disadvantage.
I said I didn't have any, but the way you answered it kind of made it seem like it was a hypothetical instead of you saying, "Hey, I remember this one time I was at Nike and I know the white boy didn't have no experience."
Get into specifics. There's no need.
But the question is,
but she asked you, "What are your social disadvantages?"
I just answered your question.
But that's what I'm saying. The way you answered it, it sounded so hypothetical. That's why I had to stop you and ask you, "Has this personally happened to you?"
That's your perception.
It is. That's why I stopped and clarified with you. That's why I said, "Yo, has this actually happened to you, though?" And then you said yes.
Yes, it has happened to me.
So people in the comments, cocaine. Come on the panel, since you got so much to say. Come on up on the panel and share with me your lived experience of racism in the system being against your Black people.
This is why we can't get along. Because successful individuals like you always dismiss the social.
I'm not being dismissive. Literally looking for
Rush.
I'm looking for the
intent. I'm looking for not everybody has been blessed like you.
I'm just looking for it. I'm looking for it. Wherever, listen. So wherever you're saying that you were discriminated against only based on your race, I want you to point it out to me.
There's no need.
But Russ, but also with your story, you don't know if that person was more qualified than you or not, because you weren't privy to his resume or what he said during the interview.
Right.
All right.
No, you can't. You are right. You can assume that's what happened, but you honestly don't know.
And that's what I'm talking about. Perception.
I'm not saying that you're lying, but I'm saying it's
we're not going to come to the
bro.
people with this. Well, there's going to be friction with this, but you know, it is what it is. This is why a lot of us we can't get along because.
Well, I don't have a problem getting along with anybody because guess what? Your experience is your truth. But I want you to share your truth with me. That's what I'm asking you, and you cannot do that because it never happened.
This is why certain blacks don't get along with other blacks because the ones that are successful, that receive a lot of help to become successful, dismiss the fact that there is a social disadvantage for blacks in America.
Interesting.
Not
okay, so come
not
on.
just in America, but in world.
Okay,
in the world.
Okay. So if that's your argument,
my mother experienced it. My father experienced it. I have relatives that experienced this. So
where are they?
We're not all crazy. We're not all crazy.
Yeah, that could be a family. That could be a family thing, no, sir.
Exactly.
That could be because you're well. You said you have experienced some of it, but you haven't experienced the majority of the stuff that they've experienced. I'm assuming.
If you have not had those direct experiences, what you're speaking to me about right now is by definition called a vicarious trauma. That means they shared their story with you, and as a result of them sharing their story with you, it disempowered you.
I can recognize I had some help in life, you know, due to having a family structure, a little bit of luck, and it mixed in. I have to factor in.
I love it when people say. I like it when people say, "I got
to factor in with the spirit of perseverance that I have to thrive in life." You know what I mean? I can recognize these things, but people like you and Trey, you guys totally dismiss those type of things.
I'm not dismissing anything. I'm speaking from my personal experience. I ain't speaking. I'm speaking from my personal experience, and I'm just a nigga from the hood, so I'm not. But when you say you guys, first of all, you called her privileged. You never said I was privileged, so that means you acknowledge I'm a hood nigga just like you. You can't knock me for not having the same experiences as you, sir. Just like Lil Wayne. He grew up in the fucking hood too, and he would tell you right now he don't think racism exists. He black.
That's because it's socioeconomic status.
But I'm in a different socioeconomic class, and I'm saying I haven't experienced it. I ain't rich, nigga.
Okay, so where did Lil Wayne come from?
Louisiana.
That nigga lying.
So it's okay for you to say Lil Wayne lying, but we can't call your job interview question. We can't say that maybe you lying because you don't know if this nigga was more qualified or not.
You can question all you want, but myself and 1,000 other black people will say the same thing.
If y'all did not see the resume, you can't say that the person was less qualified than you. That's all I'm saying.
Turn your cam.
You ain't seen this nigga application or his resume.
Exactly. But you want to position people in different spaces, in different places than where they actually are.
I don't know what world y'all living in. But
I live in a world where I'm not putting the white man on the pedestal. Yeah. I feel like I got the same chance as him.
Black people.
I feel like I have the same chance as the white boy. I'm not gonna put him on a pedestal.
I don't know where y'all from, but where I'm from, we get shitted on because we black.
Who told you that?
Who told nigga life?
So was it a black hiring manager or a white hiring manager?
That's what I'm saying. Like, make it make sense for me.
Because it was a black hiring manager, I guess you're going to say he was racist against his own kind.
We're not going to come to an agreement with this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I would like to know.
If you felt that way, why you go to the white man and apply for a job in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, this is why the main reason why blacks can't get along because of this shit right here.
Why not? So whether or not, listen, accountability conversations are only about that. These conversations are about accountability because here's the thing, right? If we are to have a conversation and we are to say that we as a race of people, I need you guys to understand and listen to the language that I'm speaking instead of the words that are triggering you. If we as a race of people in America are disparate when it comes to poverty because people discriminated against us, that would mean none of the race of people that look like us, move like us, any of those components would be in positions to where they can actually be the president of the United States, vice president of the United States, on the Senate, sitting. You understand what I'm saying? So none of these positions would be privy to.
They had help, Doc. They didn't do it on their own.
So that's
but that goes against you. But Russ,
so that's they had help.
That goes against your point, Russ. Russ, that goes against. No, fuck yo. Hold up. No, you ain't gonna cut me out. No, nigga, you ain't gonna cut me out. That contradicts your point. You said if a white person is the same. So when two people run for Congress, there's a black person and a white one. You said the racism gonna kick in and the white person gonna win out 9 times out of 10. But there are black people that have gotten these seats in Congress, in Senate, in the House of Representatives.
They do it on their own, man. They got help. They can't do it on their own, man.
Right. So how can they get help if they are us?
That's the difference between me and you guys. The position I'm in right now, I've received help. You know what I mean? I ain't do it on my own. I can recognize that. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. And it was white people that helped.
But no, if we are a race of people who are discriminated against, then how can we get help to move into positions like that? Because we as a race of people, seeing our color is a point of contention against the entire system. So not the individuals. That's your argument. My argument is people are selectively discriminatory. People hold biases, not systems, but people. People also hold the power to change.
That's not the majority, Doc.
That they complain about.
You're saying all of us is like this, and we're not.
That's what I'm saying. I know that we are all not.
If something's calling you out because you lack of integrity or skills, or if it's an actual racist issue, a lot of us can discern from things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
you're making it seem like all of us.
I'm just not intelligent enough to be able to see that all of a black person a liar.
Look at things as a racist issue, and that's not true.
Well, I might just be fucking ignorant then. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe calling black people liars is racist. Fuck it. Maybe you're right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Asking black people to get off of their ass and do something with their life, maybe that's also racist. Asking black people to stop killing each other because the numbers of black people dying at the hands of black people is larger than the number of any other population.
That's not the majority of black people that do that. You're making it seem that's the majority.
Maybe you're not hearing my comment. Asking same said black people to stop killing one another because those numbers are only multiplying in ridiculous numbers in that community is also racist. I'm being racist against some people too, right? Make it make sense to me. Asking black people to educate their children properly if they feel like the school system is not educating their kids, that's also racist, right? Yes or no? Make it make sense for me.
I don't know where you're going with this, but
that's where I'm going. I want to know all of the racist things that we do. I do. Because I want to be accountable for my racist intentions toward the black community, trying to live and put black people on pedestals. My hard work, my money, my dedication, my time. I want to know how much of my racist rhetoric is making an impact.
Before you can fix anything, you need to recognize that there is racism issue in the world.
So recognizing that there is a racism, black people can travel anywhere now. So racism will be anywhere now. Because at the beginning of this conversation, I said black people for the racist part more than any other excuse as to why it is they're not accepted. So that would mean that racism can be anywhere because black people have the freedom to go anywhere they want in the world. So that's not the point. The point is everything is not racism. Black people have a point of contention to make
when it
comes to pulling out the race card whenever they got to be held accountable. It's racism.
That's not what I'm saying. You're making it seem like
that's literally what I'm saying.
Not true.
That's literally what I'm saying.
And racism is not just a perception; it's a real thing. You know.
So in order for a thing to be a thing, in order for a thing to be a thing, it must be perceived.
We as a people, as a nation, we will never overcome these adversities because of our differences. We can't even come to a conclusion with our differences.
Okay.
Of our life experiences in life.
So life experiences shape perceptions. Perceptions shape realities. Yes or no?
Listen, if you haven't experienced it, that's just you. Maybe you just take that.
That's a yes or no question, sir.
Yes or no?
That's just you. But as a black man in America, I'm not gonna sit here and dismiss.
Can you answer the question and then go on your diatribe? Can you answer the question, then go on your diatribe?
Right. Tell me all the things you want to tell me. Curse me out and all that good stuff. Just tell me yes or no.
No, that's not what I'm here to do. I mean, obviously that you're not going to acknowledge that there is a racial.
You still ain't said yes or no, sir.
I get it. I get it.
So Jermaine G says, so you're saying black people are lazy. Oh my God. So are you not saying that black people are we not saying that black people are we saying that black people can't be lazy? Okay, wait. I know this is
Jermaine, come on, man.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I don't want to say this, but niggas is lazy, Jermaine.
Oh my God.
He's keeping it real.
You know what?
Rush, how many lazy niggas you bump into at the counter store every day asking you for $1?
So now
I do not bump into lazy black people.
I do every goddamn day.
They're hardworking.
No. So now I think this is where Kevin Samuels is a very much needed entity in the world. Because obviously, no, I'm just saying. How many black people do Kevin Samuels say are making 6 figures? What percentage?
Oops.
Where's Miss Sandy? Where's what's the other one? Kadoji? No.
Oops.
Emoji. Yeah. Come on, Miss Sandy. Where you at? Come on, Kevin.
And the bulk of those people that make that 100,000, they're athletes and entertainers.
No. Wait.
It's God-given talent.
Come on, Miss Sandy. That's right. See, Miss Sandy, I think that the problem is you have not been here long enough. I've always said that there was a need for Kevin Samuels. I always said that you shouldn't cancel Kevin Samuels. I always said if there is a Cynthia G, Tanya TKO, Nyla Speaks, there must be a Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels, I mean, Miss Andy, that was sarcasm, sir, /ma'am, but
come on.
Why don't you ever hit the link?
Give us the stats, Miss Andy. What percentage of black people does Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, you guys is Godfather, what percentage of those black men, I'm going to be very specific, are in the 6-figure range?
Rustin, it's only 10% of all men, but it's a slim percentage of black men in that 10%.
Right, Candy Girl.
It's only slim because we're not the majority of the race in America.
Oh my God! In the last election, how many black people came out and voted?
Candy, that wasn't a comment to delete.
What?
Where are we going with this, Alex?
And Jermaine, if the doctor doesn't say all black people, I'm gonna need you not to assume she's saying all black people. That's one thing we get on women about when we make generalizations. The first thing they say is not all. We know not all. The only time we'll say not all when that's what we mean.
Obviously.
Like I'll say, all women say, I'm special, I'm different,
woman.
I know my worth.
And obviously, I work hard as hell. Okay, I work 18 hours a day, most days. Not that's including my advocacy work, volunteerism in very disenfranchised populations in neighborhoods where they say that they are disenfranchised and broke, but they're driving Jags and BMWs and things like that. But they're also on government assistance and housing assistance. But somehow they can afford it because the conversations that I have with them and the information they give me tell me lots.
Y'all get everything. Y'all get the free houses.
Lots about our population. Okay,
the free houses. Y'all get the food stamps. Y'all get all that good stuff.
I think it's already here. Yeah, but yeah. So run it. Cocaine says choosing the lesser evil isn't worth my vote. What do you mean? So you didn't vote at all? Is that what you're saying? Because guess what? I want you guys to go back and look at those numbers of Black people that came out to vote in the polls. Since the argument is that Black people are the least
to the he's solid, Joe. Salute to him, man.
That's interesting. I'm glad that you guys are agreeing with something. Said he inferred that you think all Black people are lazy. Sorry for deleting. Oh, no. It's fine. I saw his comment before you deleted it. I didn't even know you deleted it because, like, I can't really tell on this end. However,
yeah, that wasn't disrespectful.
It wasn't disrespectful, but it's fine that he said that. I'm just trying to figure out where it is that I said all Black people were lazy. What I said is we act like Black people are not lazy, and we act like Black people don't have crime rates that we do have. We're dying in insurmountable numbers, but we're dying by us. Our abortion rate and our murder rates amongst ourselves is ridiculous. We bypass how many people they lynched during slavery, that they tired out doing them picking cotton and picking pecans and what else? Picking, what is that? Tobacco, all of these things. Like we have surpassed that number in just this year alone. I just want you guys to think about it. Like, I don't think you same Black people that are so pro-Black, that are so give me my reparations, I don't see any of you asking about these very disturbing numbers. None of us. None of us. And I literally spend 3 days a week in these same said neighborhoods, giving my time, my attention, educating these people's kids while they're in the clubs, in the strip clubs, on the corner, smoking weed, outside smoking weed. These are
smoking weed right now. Stop weed bashing.
Free, okay? Because I really do care about what happens to our tomorrow. So I would really like to know how much of that advocacy you guys are putting in. That's out here making all these excuses. I want to know how many of these young children you have talked to with this attachment trauma, because their mothers are cracked out. Their fathers are not in the home. And when he does come in the home, he's only coming to the home to smash the mom, and they can hear it or see it, or they're in the bed with it. So I would love to know.
It's probably not the father. It's probably this guy that's banging her.
Listen. I'm just going off of what the kids tell me. So I don't know. It's their perception, not mine.
That's just a single mother issue type thing, man. You know what I mean? If you look at the stats,
you guys always say that, but guess what? The stats of single mothers are high because there are men. There are men that have to put their penis inside of that single mother for her to become a single mother.
Listen,
so the accountability doesn't start with the woman.
The stats show that any children that's raised in a single mother house is a high percentage that they become strippers, prostitutes, drug dealers, or they get locked up. These are what the stats show. That's a single mother issue. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I just sent 3 kids from a single mother household to college on a full ride scholarship to become doctors. So
stop sleeping with the cookies and Ray-Rays and start linking up with the guys that's actually making something with themselves. But you know what? Evil women
still a Black man issue.
You know what I mean? That's all what it is.
Pookie and Ray Rays are still black men. So that's still a black man accountability issue. So how many black men are willing to take up and take accountability?
And Rush, that is a stereo. You do realize you just stereotype black men by referring to them as Pookie and Ray Rays.
Look, let him give his stereotypes, okay? These are his stereotypes. So we playing it by his
So we're gonna sit here and say this is not true, that black women are attracted to the Pookies and Ray Rays? Not the educated lane?
No, I was just pointing out that calling them Pookies and Ray Rays is a diss against them. You're calling them Pookie and Ray Ray is not a good term. So you're saying that to disparage black people.
I'm not disparaging.
No,
Trey.
Wait.
Let me explain. Let me explain why I use that for an example.
Look, I'm gonna mute you. Okay, so look, he's only speaking to his perception. And his perception is his experience and his reality. So let me go ahead. Now, run it, Rush.
Yeah, you are so funny. No, this is not my perception. These are things I've seen and there's a community of guys that talks about this. You know what I mean? The black woman is attracted to the Pookie and Ray Ray because they like the extremists. They like the super thug. And the reason why they like the super thug is because they show some traits of alpha energy. This is why these women are attracted to the guy that's in and out of prison, because he has that dominant, that one dominant alpha attribute. You know what I mean? But the black woman is not attracted to the guy that's actually going to school, doing his thing, and making a nice living for himself. She either wants the super thug or the guy that's like a rapper or an athlete. You know what I mean? And this is what the red pill community speaks about.
Well, I'm not a part of the red pill community because I don't have
because you're a woman. You're not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to understand or even have empathy for this community. For this.
I have empathy for the black men that are a part of the red pill community because I have empathy for those people who are very lost.
Okay. Okay.
But so this is interesting. I'm looking at you guys' chat because So Miss Sandy, do you really think that men should not be held accountable for making women baby mamas? Trey, have you made many women baby mamas? MoneyBoy Trey, don't be silent now. Don't be silent now. Have you? And what's going on with these two people that never voted? What are y'all doing? So I worked 2 jobs today. MoneyBoy Trey, I don't hear you. She apologized for deleting your message, Jermaine. I saw it. I commented, but you still didn't say nothing. See? All is well that ends well. Miss Sandy, you still didn't give me my stats about black people being lazy. Whoever those black people are. Kevin Samuel's talking about. You guys got me dying laughing.
You're just something else, Doc.
So no, what's interesting to me is that Al show, I want to address this. What is this? Is this trolling in my comments or something tonight? Because you feel like black people are so lost because they're kind of going outside of the bounds of accountability. Cocaine, you are in America and you are anti-government. I don't understand.
I kind of feel where he's coming from, but you won't be able to understand where he's coming from because, Yeah, just you, Doc.
Hold my vote for someone that deserves it. That's voting for whoever wins, essentially. During, yeah, I apologize. Won't happen. You don't trust either side of what? There are more parties than just Democrat and Republicans. Like, I think that it's so interesting that, you know, people feel like they have to choose a side. I vote for person, not party. I don't believe in partisanship. I think that
that's another problem in the black community. We feel like we gotta be
that's
one side or the other instead of actually listening to both sides and saying, well, I think this person will work for me better no matter which side they are.
yeah. I can't get with that. So it's not working. Look around. The government has failed. I don't think it's the government. I think it's the black community. Because I'm not telling y'all my age, but
yeah, what year did you get to America, Dr. Jefferson?
Going, you know, I almost said a very, very boy.
See, why is that? I said, what year did you get here?
None yet.
Not when you were born.
No,
I'm gonna find out.
What, 73?
That old?
I'm gonna find out, Dr. Jefferson.
Go kill yourself. Madness. But so let me talk about this, because here is the thing. I think that oftentimes black people have the mindset that
can I address Miss Andy before you go in? Can I address Miss Andy before you go in? Miss Andy, our vote doesn't count for the presidential election. You're absolutely right. But all the shit on the local level and the shit in between, your vote actually does count. So that's why you should vote, because with that attitude, you're just letting white people constantly get the seats instead of taking your ass out there and voting in a black judge, a black DA, a black city councilman, a black mayor, a black House of Representatives, a black senator. These are things that actually count. Sheriff.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, oh my God, you guys just be doing too much.
Black sheriffs, you can vote in black people for a lot of shit, sir or ma'am. I don't know. I can't tell. But I know you won't hit that link. You do a lot of talking in the comment section. I don't trust people like you. Because you don't have to show your face. As you see, Rush and I aren't showing our faces. I don't mind showing my face, but you just type constantly.
Well, maybe you need to, show your face.
They've seen I look like the nigga in the Avatar. They didn't see my face before.
Yeah.
We don't know who Miss Andy is, though. But she always typing. We ain't even heard a voice.
I just can't with you guys.
So Kim up, pull up.
Yeah, pull up. It's easier to talk than type anyway.
But to be honest with you guys, let me tell you something. Your vote does matter, even in the bigger elections, because the presidential elections are based on electoral votes. And if
that shit don't matter.
Vote, what happens is the overall party or the overall amount of people who voted whatever way, your electoral college actually can vote towards the opposite end because you didn't show up and vote. So you are now a minority, which is
that's why it don't matter, because the electoral college can do what the fuck they want to, no matter what the state votes. They can just override it.
In some states, it's illegal for them to. They have to vote the exact same as the popular vote that came out and showed out and voted.
As far as
which states is it illegal in?
It's only legal for them to vote the way that they want to in 3 states, and even then, people can take them to court. It's like, what is it, Virginia? Now,
you know I'm the look up king. Give me a second.
Yeah, look it up. But see, even in those situations, they can be taken to court if they vote
for Biden. Why? Oh my goodness!
What you mean? You have to vote for Biden because they said if you didn't vote for Biden, you're not black.
Yo, Doc, please. Let's not do this right now.
They did. He said it. You don't remember that?
I'm aware of that, but I sure wouldn't vote for that motherfucker.
Is he black? He better not be black because Rush said that black people cannot rise above the obstacles because the systems are crooked.
That's not what I said. Are you crazy? I did not say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
What did you say then? What did you say then, Rush?
I'm saying that there are some issues that stems from racism, but it's not the end all be all. You can't get through it with some help.
What about the
That's
system?
what I'm saying.
Yeah, what is some help? You mean some help from the white government?
No, like having family structure, friends,
Oh, so you
family.
mean so you mean the being accountable part that I've already been emphasizing?
What do you listen? Don't push what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yes,
saying.
the system is not perfect. No, it's not. Some of it stems from racism, but you're right. It's not an excuse to use that for an excuse to say you don't have shit. I agree on that. But what I'm saying is that you can't dismiss the fact that some of that shit stems from racism.
Okay, like show me the which some then.
No, no, we don't need to get into that because we're not going to come to an agreement. But
the punishment so far that I've read about states going against who the people voted for was a damn fine.
Yeah,
They got a fine.
Yeah, they are fine, but also they can get jail time too.
Well, yeah, in 2019 it happened when it said, well, 2016, faithless electors voted for Colin Powell instead of Hillary Clinton, violating a pledge under state law to vote for the candidate. The state fined them for their defiance. That was it.
Oh no, that's when the whip is involved. So when the whip is involved, you get a signature saying that you're going to vote whatever way they're trying to get you to vote because it's typically extortion. I'm just going to say that because that's what it is. But so after you sign said pledge, you are supposed to vote in that direction, and sometimes they don't.
Okay. It says in Colorado, a Democratic elector also violated his pledge to vote for Clinton, the candidate chosen by the voters in that state. Colorado's Secretary of the State removed the elector from his post and replaced him with someone who proceeded to vote for Clinton. In this case, the appeals court ruled against the state, holding that it lacked constitutional authority to remove or replace faithless electors. So there's no punishment for going against the grain other than a fine.
Well, no, because he was still removed. But the ruling just said that they didn't have, which they don't have the authority to remove him. You actually have to let the House and the Senate happen.
So that means he got his spot back.
No,
he got his spot back. If he was removed and they didn't have the constitutional authority to remove him, he got his spot back.
No, because the election was already finalized by the time the trial was over. But so what happens is it's just like when you get something expunged from your criminal record. And just because it doesn't mean that you didn't do it, it means that you can file and say that you rehabilitated yourself and this is something that is preventing you from making strides in society because people are seeing this thing on your criminal record. So it's the same situation. If you can prove that they don't have the authority to make the removal happen, they may have the authority to impeach you, but they don't have the authority to remove you, which is why Trump was impeached, but he was never removed. Same thing with Clinton.
But why would the guy go to the Supreme Court if he wasn't trying to get his position back? Why would he appeal it?
Because you don't
want got kicked out and he said, you know what? I don't think y'all were right. Let me ask the Supreme Court.
Because you don't want it on your record when you get ready to run for political office, i.e. president. You will be incompetent. You can't run. No party is going to finance you.
Cindy, so what made Trump so bad? What made him a bad president?
Other than he's a narcissist, sexist, misogynistic pig. Oh.
So
you just said that's every man. That's every male president and Kamala Harris.
That's not right. Actually, Obama was neither of those things.
Yes, he was.
No, he was not. Neither was Kennedy, even though he was a ladies' man. He still wasn't a nasty, misogynistic, you know.
See, y'all don't like Trump because Trump keeps shit real. That's why y'all don't like him.
Because what?
He keeps things in an authentic perspective. For example, you guys claim that there's a wage gap. There's no wage gap.
Xanax and Ativan are both not good for your brain chemistry or balance longitudinally. Anything over 6 months and you start to lose neuroplasticity. But yes. Black men were incarcerated for work. Huh. I don't know. I don't know which black men those were. I didn't see that. Send me the link. He's something. He's a sociopath.
You got some cool chat. Cool people in the chat.
He goes federal money to historically, is that what you mean? Black colleges, white people. God. Okay, so the thing is, whatever you guys say.
It says the court did not address whether the required pledges were legally enforceable, which brings us to today. So there's still like, if that's all you can get is a fine, because the Supreme Court's established, well, you can't remove a person because they didn't go, because they defected. You can't remove them. All you can do is give them a fine.
But it's only like 4 states where you can take them to court, because it's only like 4 states where they can make that option to vote however they want to. But even then, you can still take them to court if they didn't vote the directionality of the popular vote of the people in those particular places where there's and let me say this, because this is another thing that allows some of those people that do get taken to court to get passed. If you are not filling out the census, but you show up at the polls to vote, even if you do have legal ID and all that good stuff and you think that you're documented that way, what happens is they can say that you were an active voter and that there was some type of excuse me, what do they say?
Cough.
What is that thing they call it when you are pandering to people and trying to give them gifts to get them to do things? Coercion. Yes. They can say that you were coerced by people like what's her name? Oh, what's the lady that ran for governor here?
Okay, here we go.
Stacey Abrams. There was a lot of talk around her methods, how they were illegal. So some people like that, are doing some things that are borderline illegal or unethical. But they're black people, so you can't call it out, because then that's racism.
Here's the meat and potatoes. 32 states and the District of Columbia have laws that bind electors to vote according to their pledge. 19 of those states and the District of Columbia have no legal consequences for electors who defy the will of the voters. In 11 states, a non-compliant vote is nullified, the office is presumed vacant, and a new elector is chosen. Colorado is not among this group, but interpreted its law in this way, and in 4 others, including 2 that also replace faithless electors violating the pledge, is punishable by prosecution or a fine. But before 2016, no elector had ever been subjected to a penalty or replacement. So they don't do shit if you defect.
Well, they do. They can prosecute you. You can't go to jail.
But they haven't done it, though. All they've done is given fines and they remove one person.
But that's the thing. It wasn't really a big thing. It didn't become a thing until after 2009, after Bush did his big push and all this extra stuff is when these possibilities started to come up that people are going to vote the way they wanted to vote. But that's a whole conversation.
If I'm on the electoral college and it's a political pack coming at me with 10 million to vote for the opposite party, I will take the fine because I'm going to come into profit. That's the worst I got to worry about happening to me is a fine. I'll take the money.
So no, it's never about money, even though a lot of people think it is. It's never about money. It's about larger things than that. Trust me. But
some people are content being congressmen. They don't have higher ambitions. Some people are just lifelong senators and shit.
I mean, they're not congressmen. They don't work and do anything important. They just literally step in for that position and that position only. So
I know, that's what I'm saying. So it would be about money if you ain't trying to run for nothing else.
Because these people are vetted very, very seriously. So ethics is a point of contention for them. It's almost the same as they vet the VP candidates.
They're still humans, ma'am. Humans can be corrupted.
I know.
We did that. Now you acting like the people that say voter fraud don't happen. It happens. May not happen as often as what I'm saying
is I just know the intricacies of JPass. That's our system. So I know that they're not getting past it. That's what I know. So.
Judges have been bought. Senators have been bought. So you don't think electoral college people have been bought?
Even when judges are being bought and even when senators are being bought, it's never about the money. You're not hearing what I am saying.
If it ain't about the money, they would do it for free.
The methodology has nothing to do with the money. The methodology has more to do with the bigger things that these people have to lose.
I'm going to say it again. If it wasn't about the money, they would do it for free.
You can say what you want to say. You know, I'm just telling you. As somebody
Why are they taking money for it if it ain't about the money?
They've never taken any money for it. You can't see any of that anywhere. It's not about the money.
Look up Tennessee waltz and look how many Tennessee just people in a public office got caught up in all types of embezzlement and fraud and scams and taking bribes. Just look up Tennessee waltz.
Their votes,
this shit happens on a large scale.
Yeah, but so their votes have nothing to do with money bribes. That's what I'm telling you.
Yes, it does. The lobbyists come to them with money and kickbacks and stuff. That's literally how it works.
No, it's about program success and it's about other things. Okay, well, you know what? Spend a couple of days on the Hill and see what you hear in passing in hallways. It's free for the public.
Damn, you gonna stop acting like you the only person that know people in politics and are connected.
Go on a hill when you feel like a bill is gonna go forward.
I don't have to go on a hill. I'm gonna tell you to look up Ricky Pete. Ricky Pete is in my family. I want you to look up Ricky Pete. He's a very well-known public official in Tennessee's held public offices on the federal and the local level. Look him up. He's in my family. Look up his record.
So if you go and you listen to the things that people say,
ma'am, just look up Ricky Pete, and he will debunk everything that you're saying about going on the hill.
So you're talking about one person that doesn't. Most of the people that are in.
I gave you one family member because you said go on the hill, and I was just pointing out you're not the only one that is into politics or knows these things. And I also told you to look up a case called Tennessee Waltz, and you'll find at least 20 public officials that was convicted for bribery and all types of things. No, Tennessee is not the only place this happens in.
So I didn't say bribery wasn't a thing. I said the point of contention is not finances. I said it's other things they use because money isn't. So policies, they have other issues like airing out people's business that they don't want to be aired out about who they have in their bed. There are a lot of things. They're still bribes. It's just not about money because people can get money a lot of different ways at that level of success. So we can make
blackmail and extortion are different from bribes. Bribes mean you're taking money and gifts or kickbacks or perks.
Okay, so it's not a kickback. So it's not a kickback if my policy that obviously got shut down every single time I took it up for a vote. If you tell me that you're going to make sure it gets passed for another measure, that's not a bribe. All I have to do is vote yes on this bill. That's not a bribe.
And you get what for voting yes on the bill?
I get a policy that has been shot down several times. For example, a really good example, the George Floyd policies that was shot down once before it got passed the second time around.
Who got something for what I'm saying? You're saying is if it's a bribe, what was offered to vote yes?
I'm saying it got shot down the first time tremendously. It got passed the second time with no effort.
Maybe it got passed the second time because people's palms got greased.
In a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever you say.
I think Doc is trolling us, yo.
I'm not trolling.
She says racism don't exist, and now this? Oh, man.
No, I said racism isn't always the point of contention. That's not always the problem. It's other things as well. So Black people are not positioned in certain places sometimes because they don't qualify. I don't even believe in affirmative action. You know why? Because you have Black people that are forced into schools because of the color of their skin, but their education level and their intellect level is low and they can't thrive in those said schools, but they're just pushed forward so that they can pass. So those people meet affirmative action numbers. And when they get into the field, they feel so much pressure because they have absolutely no idea what it is that they're doing. And they end up in therapy because they feel isolated and they feel because everybody else is a brainiac that loves doing what they're doing. But they're the exception because they went to school and nobody ever paid attention to the fact that they never got a single concept.
I don't believe in affirmative action because it benefits women more than it does men. That's why I don't believe in it.
Well, you know, it has nothing to do with that for me. It has to do with the fact that sometimes you take people and you put them in places just because they're Black. To me, that's the exact same as racism.
But it benefits Black women and white women more than it does Black men.
Well, they're Black, so it doesn't matter.
Right now,
it's not helping us. I don't give a damn about them being Black. It ain't helping no Black men.
I'm coming out of pocket. You know, I could barely get the scholarships that they have for the women. But when you look at when the women have a plethora of financial aid to get certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like as a man, like we are limited to get some of those scholarships.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well,
and I'm a prime example of it. I'm the living example of it.
I'm not woe is me, and I'm just saying I fuck affirmative action. It don't help men.
Well, I don't think that that's true. I think in several cases it does. It does help.
Look at the stats. It helps men, but look at the stats. It helps Black women and white women way more than it does Black men.
Have you ever thought that maybe that's because Black men are not?
I don't care why it doesn't. It just ain't working for Black men. So fuck affirmative action.
Hold on. I gotta hear what she's about to say. What you about to say, Doc? What?
I said you don't think Black men are not applying themselves. If you don't apply, nobody can help you.
Absolutely false.
Well, you just told me that the system is set up against you. You just told me that basically you can't go out here and thrive because you're Black in this system that oppresses Black people.
You're saying that Black men are not applying themselves, and that's not true.
I'm asking the question, do you think it's because Black men are not applying themselves? It was a question, not a statement.
No.
Oh, well, what do you think about?
MoneyBoy just explained to you.
How many denied applications can MoneyBoy trade? Go and get it. Okay, so MoneyBoy trade. Go get the denied applications.
That's it.
Go get the denied applications for these affirmative action programs from Black men then?
Ma'am, now you're being facetious. All we can go is the numbers that they're putting out. We can't look at the denied applications,
Okay,
but
well,
the numbers bear out. The numbers bear out that it helps more women than it helps men.
Okay, how many men are applying that are Black?
How many women are applying? You ain't asking that question either. Again, we don't know. The stats just show it helps men more.
Okay, so look.
It doesn't help men.
How many men are applying that are Black?
How many? I mean, I could go with welfare too. I say fuck welfare because it ain't helping as many Black men as it does women. Are you gonna say how many Black men apply for welfare too?
Every Black man that I've ever known, Medicare, food stamps, and Medicaid, they got approved.
Doc, you capping?
No, I'm not. If it wasn't for HIPAA, I'd post the names. But I've seen lots of adult Black men on Medicaid and food stamps.
You know you capping, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay, that is the basic. That's the basic level of welfare. What about the family first money in the house? What about the Section 8 housing, the free rent?
I don't know.
Are projects full of single women in free housing or men? Come on now, you ain't being real. That's why I said you capping.
In Atlanta, there is such a long waiting list for every person that I have referred to the program for housing assistance that I can't even gauge that.
All you got to do is drive around. You'll see it's all with the niggas are staying with the women in their free apartments.
No, you wouldn't know because here's the thing in Atlanta.
Well, I've lived there, so I know.
That's in Atlanta. It's not like that anymore. So you can
everywhere you go, women are the majority of the ones that have free housing. Any state in America.
If that's what you feel, what can I say?
It ain't what I feel. The numbers bear this out, and you can drive through the hood and see.
Let me look it up.
Drive through it. Okay, go to an Atlanta hood, a project in Atlanta, an apartment complex where you know they take Section 8 or the rent is free, and just do a poll. You can say, hey, I'm Dr. Jefferson. I'm trying to see the ratio of women with free apartments to men.
They get food stamps. They even get
money, daycare, housing. Men ain't getting housing.
Men too. There are
they do, but it's like 1%. Like again.
So there are more single male parents half of the time than single female parents.
Ma'am, and men will work a job. They don't get free housing, and I'm not saying all men don't, but when you say they do, we know it's a small percentage. So to say they do is almost like you saying not all.
Well, hold on. I'm looking.
We gonna just say 1% of men get it just to say it happens?
No, I'm not even gonna say 1% of men get it. You can look
at whatever percentage you get. It's not as high as the women. Women are leading that by a landslide. Men are nowhere close.
Not necessarily. The official urban therapist is a social worker. He said the same thing.
Trey, trolling right now.
The official urban therapist is capping too. In these projects, it is women who have the goddamn free apartment, and it's they niggas coming through selling drugs and shit, fucking it up. It's not the men with the apartments over there.
Okay, so let's look. Affirmative action, including training programs, outreach efforts, and other positive steps for preference. Women make up 25% of student applications, so it's more males here. Let's look at affirmative action. There is time for a change. First introduced gender affirmative action policy was necessary to correct a significant gender imbalance to reflect the fact that women made up only 25% of student intake. 22 years down the line, the proportion of female students at the university now exceeds male students by 2%. Despite this fact, the university administration assist policies are still in operation. Well, right here, they say that the objective was to put women as a point of contention when it comes to affirmative action, simply because females were significantly depleted to males at the university. 22 years later, 2015, shows that women outperform males at a pass rate of 90.5, while the males were at a passing rate of 85.4. And the females to males were only 2% led more females over males.
That's why I said fuck it, because it was built for women and not for men. And even with men not getting affirmative action, we still managed to run shit. So fuck affirmative action.
This is with men being there for affirmative action, where they had a total population of 48% of men on affirmative action and not enough women on affirmative action. And so they made a priority for women and started to admit them. And they didn't even balance out where more women were on the affirmative action plans than
so it still benefits. So after you get through using all them words, it still benefits women more than men.
It took 22 years for it to benefit women by 2%. Two.
More is more, ma'am.
The stats show that it's 90%.
And are you looking at the year-by-year analysis? Are you looking at the year-by-year data?
Yeah, that was a 20-year longitudinal university study for Black colleges. But I'm not an advocate.
And women always led it though, right?
No, men.
Because you read a part at the top and then you got sad and then you went down and found something that fits your argument. You didn't read the whole paragraph.
Men led it. They had an underabundance of women. And so in order for them to have more women being admitted, they made a preference for women.
So they cheated.
Preference for women. 22 years later, finally women outpaced the men.
So they cheated for women.
Affirmative action. Well, no, it's not cheating when you have a school that's supposed to be an HBCU and you got the vast majority of those people identifying as males there. As you're transitioning to school.
Women are benefiting off these free scholarships than men.
Oh, God, whatever.
So that means the women weren't applying.
Stranger talk
said it said underwhelming applicants. Women weren't applying for it. And then they cheated to make it more attractive to women, to where they made it lopsided, and instead of it being equal, women are leading it. It benefits women more, but we still survive without it. Just like we survive without the welfare.
Do you think they cheated when they let men start applying initially?
Yes, fuck affirmative action.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right, Candy Girl. Like, I don't know what they be thinking.
Top of that, these women, they get $300 per child.
What
veterans get trash?
What women? What women?
These women that get these extra $300 from the government.
What extra $300 from the government?
I know a welfare recipient right now that's getting all these benefits.
Oh, Candy Girl, you just go ignore all them homeless veterans out there. All right. Have fun with that one.
The veterans are not a part of your general consensus of research. For the most part, we have a separate entity that funds our...
Well, she typed it and you hallelujah'd her.
That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the fact that men are on government assistance.
I acknowledge that, but I said women do it by a landslide. They help women more, especially with the critical shit like housing. Men would rather get housing instead of fucking food stamps.
Well, it's interesting that you would say that. I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want to break any HIPAA violations. But, I'm going to say this. Lots of
Go to the hood.
Lots of black men get assistance. And I'm sorry, just because your guys are not.
Lots is still not as much as the women. You can say a lot, but a lot more women get it. Look, now we using words.
I can only speak For the vast majority of these many numerous court agencies here in the
It's
Atlanta.
90-10. It's 90 to 10. 90% women, 10. Okay. 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 Men out here cutting up via welfare.
I can only speak for here. So why do you think in Atlanta?
They don't get no assistance from the government.
So you guys had them. Look,
why you think there's welfare queens and not welfare kings, and generations of family of women staying in the projects, not men?
For a lot of different places, but let me tell you something. If so many women are outpacing men in education, especially in a place like Atlanta, in affluent cities,
that's not true.
Where
they enrolled.
I'm only going based off of what you wonderful folks are saying, and your godfather Kevin Samuels.
I don't fuck with Kevin Samuels.
So at the end of the day, if women are outpacing men and going to get these PhDs to position themselves in these high capacity earning jobs, and these women are earning more than their men, because that's a fact in the Black community. Women are outpacing men, out earning men, out way more education than men.
That's not true.
How is it a vast majority of women aren't going to get assistance if we don't qualify?
That's not the stats you just gave out ain't true. I'm gonna need you to screen share that. Sounds good. It sounds good. If y'all are making all that money, why is Black women's net worth $5?
How is it not true?
Because y'all's net worth is $5.
Maybe Black women have become smart, like the vast majority.
Black women's net worth is $5. How can you be so educated and out earning men if your net worth is $5?
I don't know, because you still got a large amount of Black women who are at home.
So that means what you're saying is false. If Black women in general's overall net worth is $5 and men is tripling that.
Why do you think that is, though?
Because the numbers that you just said are false. It's a feel-good story to make women feel like they're accomplishing shit.
It means that there are still an overarching abundance of women who are stay-at-home, homemaker wives that don't work. And those women are still a very much represented part of this society when we talk about the numbers. So
not when we talk about earning potential and outpacing men and stuff. Housewives don't fit in there anywhere.
All women in the statistics that you're speaking about are applied to that calculation. So that means the women that are stay-at-home moms that are earning no income, they also are part of that set. So if you're adding all of those women who are not working, how many stay-at-home dads are there? Very few. Very few. So if you add those negative numbers of zero, no financial.
Sound like a lot of excuses, ma'am.
Oh, it's no excuses. This is just a part of the math. I'm making the math make sense for you. If you put all those zeros into the equation, it's going to bring down the overall valuation. But the reality is women are still outpacing men. Women still have more education than men. Why do you think they talk about the fact that women will get married at 1 in 4? Why do you think they say that? Because if a woman feels like she has no need for a man, that means that a woman is able to provide for herself.
5% net worth, ma'am. You ain't gonna get away from that. They earning so much, their net worth is $5.
I'm just saying.
It's way more men that ain't shit and selling drugs than it is women that stand at home and all of that's being counted in the numbers, and we still kicking ass when it comes to net worth compared to women.
I'm just saying.
So if y'all's net worth is $5 and men's is clearing that 3 times, there's no way y'all are out earning us.
Obviously, that means that if a woman has any net worth at all and you're just 3 times above her, it literally means that women are out earning men. Because if you have 50% of let's just say 50% of the women are not a part of the working population where they're documenting income because their man is bringing home the income and taking care of the home, which he should be. And you also got to realize that most of these Black women are now divesting from Black men and marrying other men from other races. So these men are damn sure taking care of their homes. because they're trying to make sure that they.
That ain't got nothing to do with black women's net worth.
I'm just saying culture. So if
and if you add in the 50% of the black men that ain't doing shit and in jail, and all of that, and the black men that's divested, everything you can say, I can apply to the men, and our net worth still gonna be higher.
You can't apply that to black men because there are not black men who are stay-at-home fathers.
So there are none.
No,
it's some black men. It's some black men. Hold up, no, I got you. Because earlier you said I know black men that got custody and they get welfare. So that means they're stay-at-home dads.
Stay-at-home dad? No, it means that they still qualify for welfare. So welfare is considered to be anything that is 150% below the poverty guidelines. And let me make sure that you understand that means that if you make $40,000, you qualify if you got a kid. I have a sliding scale. These are things that we have to know. These are your federal poverty guidelines. So you still qualify. And you got to think about it, in Maryland, they even go up to 250%.
They would be stay-at-home dads, ma'am.
They're not.
They're the sole provider for the kids.
They're going to work. They might only be able to pay.
You said they welfare kings. They getting the free apartment and shit like women. That's what you said.
They're getting a free apartment doesn't mean they're not earning sufficient income
to
make sure they have their basic needs taken care of.
The women that I was talking about earlier when I said it's a generational thing.
I also think they're Jags and BMWs. How you think they affording that?
Because they staying with their baby mama who got free rent. It's not because they got a free apartment.
I'm talking about single fathers. That means they don't have a baby mama. The baby mama's on child support. This is
They stay at home dads.
No,
they're stay at home dads.
Nope, they're working. They work every day. They got caps to make sure that they got child care.
The women don't work. They just rely on the welfare. The ones I was talking about, I say you can go to any project and see this. They're not going to work. They're just getting the benefits.
In the state of Georgia, they're required to work here, whether they're a woman or a man, or they don't.
You're required to work or be enrolled in online classes, which is why a lot of black women have started getting in school because you have to go to school to work.
This is Georgia. I sign these women up for these programs every day, and
they're the same. They're the same. Tennessee, Georgia, we got the same shit enacted. You got to work part-time. You got to work part-time, or you have to be enrolled in school.
If you're enrolled in school full-time, you still have to work part-time.
You do realize Thomas Sotomayor lives in Atlanta as well, and he speaks about this all the time.
I don't care what he speaks about. These are the programs that I work with.
So you the only person that knows about this.
I don't know. Ask a couple other people.
Well, I'm telling you, I just gave you two people, me and somebody else, and you one of them lives in Atlanta, and you discounted it, and I know for a fact that
I have a county badge. How many of you have a badge? How many of you tapping in?
What they got to do with the subject at hand?
Guidelines. That's what I'm saying.
They have to work for. They have to. You work so
15 to 20 hours a week?
You're a social worker at defects. So you're a social worker at defects. You do cases. You approve cases and stuff. You're a caseworker.
For me, no, I'm a therapist who is an approved contractor with defects. So in order for me to get paid, I have to tap in. I got to go in there. When I go and I remove kids from the homes, obviously, for child protective services, I still got to tap in. So
I ain't talking about child protective. We talking about welfare benefits. In order for these women to keep their benefits, they have to work a part-time job, or they have to be enrolled in school.
If enrolled in school full-time. Otherwise, they have to be working at least 30 hours a week.
I just said part-time or enrolled in school, and you argued me about that.
No, 30 hours is considered to be full-time. 15 hours is part-time. So they have to
either you have to work or you got to be in school. And most people are choosing the school.
If you are in school full-time, you still have to work 15 hours a week. I keep saying the same thing over again.
That would be 15 hours would be part-time. So you still corrected me when I'm right. It's part-time or in school.
No, it's part-time and in school or full-time employment, or you do not qualify. Either way, you still must be working. That is the requirement here in Georgia. I don't know about your state, But women and men equally are required to pay child support. When your kids are even taken from defects, women and men both have to pay child support. So either all of these things, these are our systems. I don't know how it works in your state, but what I'm saying here, it's a different ball game. So if you're going to qualify for the programs here, you have to still be working. It doesn't matter if you're 15 hours or 30 plus. You still got to work. Poverty looks like you're not making enough money in order for you to survive. You cannot survive in Atlanta making less than $50,000. That's exactly what Kevin Samuels is saying when he says, once you have a kid, there is no way that you can live here on $50,000 and provide for a family. That's what he's saying, because it's a fact. Cost of living is high. How are you going to pay that? What is that? The rent that is fucking $2,400. Help me figure it out. You really think that they don't have no credit, no job, and they're going to qualify for a home loan? So make it make sense to me. I'm listening. No lies told. Exactly, Candy Girl. I can't. I feel like I feel like these guys feel like people who are on the system are people who are not working. Women at home while their husbands are working.
I just acknowledge that there are more people that abuse the system than the people that actually use it as a crutch.
Oh, okay. So how many
I acknowledge this based off seeing 3 and 4 generations of women in the same damn projects.
I'm pretty sure. But right here in this state, the guidelines are very different. So that's not to say that your state has inundated practices that are not welfare to work programs. Here in Georgia, we have welfare to work programs. Even when you guys were still getting the additional money from the government for unemployment and all that stuff as an incentive, our governor, we all met a whole little COVID task force, and the governor, we made an overall consensus for the governor to pull the program. 7 months early. Because here we value people going to work, not welfare. And if you're going to be on welfare, you need it because the prices, the cost, the inflation, all of these things are high. So you do have to be able to at least make a decent living. At least you need to be able to basically provide, which is why the housing application list, the wait list is so long. So you can't have people, you can't have a system that's constantly accepting people. You have a shitload of people that's not going to work. Yeah, men do it every day.
You know,
men don't work because they don't want to pay child support.
Free housing and free food. Come on now.
Well, I mean, some people qualify for it, so. I agree with that.
You know, majority of these women out here are getting this free housing joint. It's barely those. I don't know why you capping for.
I'm not saying that. I think that here in Atlanta, what that looks like is more old people in the housing complexes and single parent homes. And single parent homes can be men-led or female, but they still qualify because they have kids.
I can name 10 females that left Memphis in the free housing program and moved to Atlanta off the top of my head.
that is funny.
Memphis and Atlanta are like cousins.
Okay. Well, name them.
Due to HIPAA laws and putting these ratchet bitches' name out in the street, I'm not going to divulge it. But if you want me to do my DMX voice, there was Linda, Felicia, Brenda, Talisha, Dawn, LaShawn, Inez, Alicia.
Miss Sandy, I don't know where you live, but the majority of single parent homes in Georgia are not led by women. Most women are the ones that are running away from the home.
Girl, stop.
No, I'm just being honest. That's an issue. That's an issue here.
You are lying.
No, I'm not. That is a real issue here. You got more kids in the foster system. Look it up. It's been on the news.
Sandy, that's not true, Sandy.
I'm gonna need you to go to Zone 6, Dr. Jefferson.
As a man in America, if you don't work, you're gonna starve and be homeless.
I'm gonna need you to go to Zone 6, Dr. Jefferson. I'm gonna need you to go to Zone 6 and do some research.
Zone 3, Zone 5.
Do some research about who got the free housing over there.
I don't need to. Their grandparents have the free houses. So you're not listening. I'm in these houses. I'm in and out of these houses.
You ain't doing you doing too much.
I know who's in the family. So at the end of the day, these young women are the ones who are running out on their children, because in Atlanta, it's a thing to run out, become a stripper, and that's your whole life. Become a city girl, and that's your whole life. Leave your kids with your parents, your brother, cousin,
on welfare. And then on welfare.
Some daddy gonna come by and get his daughter because he don't want his daughter to be another you. And he
on welfare. They got a free apartment too. Why they stripping? They got a free apartment.
Well, they're not on
and food stamps.
Becomes a part. So let me make this clear. The kid becomes a part of the foster care system. And once they're a part of the foster care system, we do place them with a familial placement. And because they're with a family placement, we do provide services with that family only for those kids, because those kids are wards of the state. So we do provide food stamps, transportation, medical care, all of those things for those children, therapy for those kids. All of that stuff is covered by the state, but those kids are still wards of the state. There are more of those kids than there are kids with any parent, period, in the home here in Georgia. That's an Atlanta issue. So like I said, I don't know what the dynamics are for your area in your state, but right here,
I need you to go on Camilton Road.
On Camilton Road. It's not far.
I'm gonna need you to go to some of these zones and just do research.
I do.
You just drive around.
I'm the person providing.
Why are you scared to get your own empirical data?
I'm in the community.
You can literally go there and ask, hey, because you know with the places that are Section 8 free housing.
I don't need to ask.
If you don't ask, you don't know.
Down the properties down the street in Bankhead, where the projects were, where we're currently relocating them right now. So I talk about current projects. Why? Because I live here.
So you got access to the HUD list.
What do you mean? I'm inside of Atlanta.
So if you have access to the HUD list,
they don't go to the HUD list because they don't qualify, because they have government assistance. They're a part of foster care systems and a part of the government assistance programs. Once those things are eliminated and removed from those communities and they're regentrified, because that's what they're working on right now, then they are repositioned. They have to now find somewhere else to live, which moves them in with family members down the street.
I said, do you got the HUD list that will prove that it's more women getting that free housing than men?
So the HUD list is based off of who applies and who qualifies as a result of those applications. I already told you it's the grandparents and the aunties and uncles who are making these applications because the parents are not there. They're just not there. You want to come
all these single women out and fuck with doula homes and Section 8 where everything was paid for. That wasn't their shit. It was their grandparents. Even though I know it was theirs. So again, I fucked a lot of wretched bitches in my time. So I'm speaking from experience too.
In the last 10 years here in Atlanta, how many? Since 2012, how many? Because that's when the regulatory authority changed.
I just told you I can name 10 off the top of my head that left Memphis and moved to Atlanta.
Thousands of kids in foster care. So that's nothing.
I ain't talking about foster care. I'm talking about women getting free housing via welfare.
That's where those kids came from. No women get housing. Go look it up on the on the website. Look up how many free housing programs are available in Atlanta. Tell me how long the wait list is.
The waiting list is long in every state in America. It's not exclusive.
It's no such thing anymore. There is no room for anybody. So when somebody else dies out, the propensity of you getting on a free housing program, a free housing voucher in Atlanta is a 0.0%
That's how it is everywhere.
It's not going to happen.
But that's how it is everywhere. And people get approved every year through the Memphis Housing Authority, which does the HUD homes. The list is like that.
Our housing authority has no options for them, period. The places where they used to live have now been regentrified. So there is no place for them to go.
The shitty apartments that are around there start taking Section 8.
No.
Free rent vouchers.
Apartments around there start taking what they call income-based housing assistance.
It's the same thing.
So they give them a housing credit based off of their income, and the apartment absorbs the cost. The cost.
And if your income is zero, your rent is free.
They're not accepted, and then you're referred to one of these various homeless shelters where you and your kids wake up and go to sleep. After you wake up in the morning, you must leave, but you can go to sleep there, and you hope that you get there in time overnight. That's the programs here. That's what's available. That's what's available.
Candy girl, why are you upset at me? What I do, Candy girl? I didn't shame anybody.
Let me see. Mr. Brooks, what are you talking about? Okay, so since you guys didn't find any racism in this video, I'm reading out.
We did find racism in Finland, though.
Racism is not a thing. It's a perceptual component.
According to people in Finland, it is.
Yeah. Well, if they say they go there and they experience racism, that's their perception, but it's not. It's not a truth for me.
Who the hell is the devil? I mentioned the devil. I didn't mention the devil.
Make this make sense for me, Miss Sandy. What are you reading this comment? Look, I'm like,
Candy girl, you need help if you hate niggas online that you don't know and don't have to watch. That's weird to say. And then you call the man a devil.
Who mentioned the devil? Oh, Tommy Sotomayor. Oh my God. You know what? You guys are so. I think Tommy Sotomayor.
She just got through talking about shaming people, then call somebody the devil.
I think
niggas are hypocrites.
But didn't he call himself that the other day when he was laying down on something on the floor or bed or something doing the show? I think he's losing his shit. You need to go get your friend.
He said he appears to still be doing well to me. I don't know why y'all think these people are supposed to do more than entertain.
Well, yeah, he's definitely entertaining, but I do feel like he's definitely coming unglued. He's been less stable than most days now. So you guys didn't find you guys didn't find racism in this video. I'm sorry. So I guess it's a lie. And now I'm going to be called a racist because calling a black woman a liar yet again.
Why did he do a video on you, Miss Candy Girl? Oh, well, you can't stand me. Well, I guess you can't stand me then. Oh, well. A person that I don't know that doesn't affect my life can't stand me. What? Good riddance.
So why not? Why you don't? So what's going on with Tommy Sotomayor?
I don't know. She said he made a video about him, and then she said, I can't stand him or anyone that watches him.
She's just emotional.
I don't know, but typically you have to do something for Tommy to make a video on you.
She's way too emotional.
Wait. So Miss Sandy,
Grow
It's
up.
not that.
You
It's
know,
not that people
come
can't
on now.
experience racism everywhere. Okay, that's not the argument. The argument is racism is not a thing unless you perceive that to be racism. And even when you perceive that thing to be racism, then sometimes it's not, based on the definition of racism, as proven in this video. As also proven the other day, where the young lady is out here saying that a person is racist against her because they called her out for Medicaid fraud. That is not racist. That's just a person calling you out for being a fraud. You're billing fraudulent bills. I just don't understand the mindsets of some people that just, you know. What's going on, Joy Chit Chat? But so that's all I got, you guys. You know, since you guys weren't able to find any racism in this video, then I'm gonna have to
want to address that because she is a black woman, and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend, and I don't want anybody here to watch this and say that we're attacking you for being racist. And for that, if I articulated,
I think it's too late. I think that seed's already sown.
But that is why I'm saying for me, I'm saying.
So there were no lies told. There were no lies told. The seed has already been sowed. She already called her whole racist. Why? Because it's a black woman that is being called a liar. Good God. It's terrible. It's terrible. So, like I said, you guys, I've replayed it several times. If you find the racism in this video, please do me a favor and just type the number of where it is in the show that you found the racism, because obviously I got my racism blinders on, and that happens. That definitely happens sometimes, because, you know, I think that success can blind you. Sometimes, you know, you can be so successful in your own objectives in life, and then you can be so successful in elevating other people's success in life. You can be so successful in removing the undue biases and vicarious traumas from other people, and then all of a sudden you see successful outcomes from them, and you can see that racism wasn't what was holding them back. It was them holding themselves back. They were the oppressor. Go figure. I think that these are definitely things that happen. Do I think that racism is a thing in America? I think racism is a thing every place where a black person exists. You want to know why? If a black person feels like they are being discriminated against, whatever they feel becomes their reality. It's their shared experience. It's their truth. It's their perception. So therefore, it's as valid as any other reality that they perceive. Belief systems is what shape our perceptions. Ask yourself, what do you believe your capacity to be? Because you're black. So that's all I got, you guys. MoneyBoy Trey, tell these people where to find your toxic ass.
You can find me on MoneyBoy Trey. TR3Y. That's it.
See, he one of them same black people that's changing the language to fit his own agenda. Just kidding.
Yep. I'm like everybody else. I ain't no dummy.
And you can find Rush on MoneyBoy Trey's account.
Illuminati, you heard?
I just kidding.
I'm not a part of that, guys.
He's trying to remain sucker free.
I'm always sucker free. Always. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, we're not gonna come to agreement with the stock, but definitely I'm gonna take a look at your perspective, which I know I'm not gonna agree with. But you know, salute to you, Doc. You know what I mean? For you guys out there, you know, seek wisdom, practice humility, and remain sucker free.
Oh my God. People are just crazy. I'm sorry that happened to you, Candy Girl. People will always mistake you because this is the internet. Like that's what they
she wasn't mistaken. She said she didn't know that she was being recorded, but she said this on a public platform. So it didn't matter if
somebody asked for her opinion.
And she gave it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
she said she would have worded.
I screenshot if I go back and I record something and take it to you. So you know what, you guys, I was done, but here I go. Okay.
Yes, come on, because I gotta walk this scenario down.
Let's talk about this because MoneyBoy Trey has an affiliation with a guy out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And
she mentioned two people.
Hold on.
She mentioned two people.
Hold on, wait for it. I can't remember how close you guys are, but I will say that this guy is a male that has a gossip channel. A gossip channel. A whole gossip. It's a male though. And we talk about male characteristics and female characteristics and things.
You talking about manly gossip? I don't fuck with that nigga.
So there is a possibility that people's comments, commentary, opinions, facts even that they are relaying can be mistaken for their own personal insights, truths, and belief systems, because some people in life can be looking for some negative shit. So you can have somebody screenshot something and take it back to another person because
screen recorded.
Messy as hell. That's
But you said it though.
So
if you said something disparaging, then that's what you felt. And the people, the issue is she felt like that she gave her opinion, and that's where it should have ended. She said Tariq and Tommy made videos on her based off what she said in the screen recording. But she said it on a public platform, screenshotted or not. They could have been watching the show. They could have been listening to the show.
Okay, so here's the thing. If they were watching the show and listening to the show, that's one thing. But for another person to go back and report on you to another man, it's something wrong with that person. That's the first thing.
But it still was said on a public platform, though.
But wait, even if it's said on a public platform, why would somebody be so desperate to look for something to give you as a man to talk about, review, to combat, and it's another person's personal opinion that you don't know?
That's literally how all this shit that we talk about on the internet goes. Everybody we talk about, we don't know. And we give our opinions.
Don't take it personally. There you go. So the biggest component is who takes it personally. If you take it personally, then you know.
Well, apparently she took it personally because they just responded. They gave their opinion of what she said. That's why I was like, well, it seems like a fair exchange. You gave your opinion. They both gave their opinion. It should be even. Based on what you said.
Platform at the same time, I would totally agree. But when I feel like when another person grabs something specific that another person says and has to take it back to a third party source, what that says
welcome to YouTube, Dr. Jefferson.
You need to feel. I didn't say that YouTube streets were not borderline narcissistic in the way that they behave. I talked about Kwame Brown and his move to YouTube versus his normal Instagram, Facebook streets.
I personally I tell all the people that I fuck with, look, I don't want to hear about people talking to me. Don't bring that shit to me, but that's just me.
But that's the point.
Other people do it for content.
But that's what I'm saying. If that's that's only the content that you can create, if that is the capacity in which you are able to do things and it's not meaningful, the only thing that you want to do is be out here in these streets and waste people's time. Oh, I'm sorry. That's literally what Black people gravitate to. That's my point.
Yeah, because I'm about to say I can't judge. That's the majority of our entertainment.
I'm here for accountability. This is accountability.
Oh, I judge, but I judge people. But one thing I'm not going to do is tell people how they should get their money when they're successful at getting their money the way that they do. So that it's not right for me to say you shouldn't get your money that way because they've been successful at it.
Of course. So Tommy Sotomayor, I agree. Tommy Sotomayor is a person who is strictly for entertainment, and he makes that very clear.
Tariq Nasheed is too. This nigga, he done been in movies. He done been on reality shows. He done wrote books. He a pimp. He's an entertainer.
However, I've not seen him run back and do all of this. I'm gonna screenshot this and take it back to you and ask you this question.
You haven't looked hard enough. Tariq Nasheed is always beefing with people.
So wait, I've seen him beef with people. That's not the point. I've not seen him exercise some of these behaviors that I see many of these other content creators behave in and do. So the thing about,
how do you think Tariq Nasheed gets information about people? How do you think he finds out that people talked about him? He's not saying all of this shit. There are people sending him stuff.
I'm pretty sure.
So it's a normal thing, especially in YouTube and entertainment, for people to send you stories about people talking about you or random shit.
So if a person is sending you a story where people are specifically talking about you, the content creator that is talking about you then can be addressed in said video. If I'm a person who is giving my opinion and I'm not the main content creator and I'm answering a question as to what my perceptions are based on where I sit, then if you're going to make a video of me or in response to my content, then you should at least have the courtesy to tag me in it. So there is a right way and a wrong way to do anything. The fact that men really are obsessing over the fact and really are gravitating to the abundance of gossiping, men, that you guys are doing that and you think it's okay, but at the same time and in the same energy,
I didn't say it's okay. I said
no, wait. And in the same energy, y'all want to check other men and say, oh, wait, why are you wearing a dress? Y'all want to cancel Lil Nas X? Like, y'all really, you make it make sense.
Don't put me in the y'all.
My problem is there is an abundance of black men who say that men need to be doing men shit, but here it is that y'all men are doing women shit. There has never in the history of history been a male gossip column.
Touche. Niggas is different in 2020.
Literally, the word gossip is something that for the longest of time was limited.
Was attributed to women. And you know what? We got on this man several times and said, bro, ain't nobody gonna take you seriously with that name. And he said he riding with it. I can't, but I salute him for saying, fuck y'all, I'm gonna ride with the name that I gave myself. Don't agree with it, but the brother has cojones to even stick with that name.
I doubt it.
I mean, he could have changed it.
If the brother had cojones, then when he made his comment on my page, he went back and removed it.
Well, welcome to these YouTube streets, man.
Welcome to them.
That's what they do. I ignore a lot of shit.
Oh, it's not about ignoring. It's just about, I'm a very direct person. So if I say something and if you take offense to it, whether you're dumb as hell and you realize that you got your facts wrong or you listened wrong or whatever it is, right? I expect for you to keep that same energy. So have a conversation or have the decency to at least leave the comment so that people can.
I ain't gonna have no conversation.
At least say what you're going to say and say it with your chest, as they say, right? However, what I notice is there are a lot of men who don't go out here and do men things. They do women things.
He light-skinned. He don't count.
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
That means he ain't black. He don't count.
So,
Panda Hughes looking mother.
She said, so YouTube is just for women. Well, I mean, the vast majority of YouTube's content creators that are making the vast majority of money outside of the rhetoric between manosphere and female sphere with Kevin Samuels and Cynthia G and those folks are actually female content creators making beauty videos. Just saying. That's what the stats say.
I can agree. It's a lot of males that do celebrity gossip.
Mm-hmm.
They know all the tea. They know all the Tasha K's and shit. This is what they do, and this is what they talk about.
I mean,
I've never done it.
I definitely feel like there is a I feel like there is so journalism, I do feel, is a completely separate thing altogether. But even with journalism, for the longest of time, you saw women more so than you see men. But that's the thing, when you're melding, together as one, and that equality component comes there. So when do you differentiate and say, well, these are male features and these are female features? So then when your men start doing the same thing, start wearing the same amount of makeup, when you start doing the same amount of blush, doing the same amount of prep, you know what I mean? So there are a lot of things I think that the Black community have got to go back and ask yourself, are these contradictions congruent with my framework of my belief systems? And I think that Black men have an abundance of contradictions in your rhetoric. Like you guys will say, men got to do men shit. You guys will say, look at Boosie, cancel Lil Nas X. You guys will say, oh, all of this culture of gender fluid acceptance is causing our young men to be gay. But then you go out here and you'll do these things that are the same things that women do. Or you'll go out here and you'll perform sexual acts that are the same thing that gay men perform, anal sex, and you'll call it different.
It is different
because it's the females. Asshole.
It is.
Asshole altogether. I just feel like, come
on. Ma'am, it's a mouth too, but I'm not letting a dude suck my dick, and I'm not fucking a dude in his ass, even though they both got the same thing. That's why I draw the line with your feminism spiel. I listen to everything else, but no, you gotta stop.
This is a feminism spiel.
No, that was a feminism spiel that you just gave, but I'm not offended by it because I don't consider myself part of this Black community that you described anyway.
It's me.
The folks I fuck with don't do that shit.
No, it's me asking the difficult question. I'd like to know where the line of delineation is drawn. Like what is men? When you say men should do men shit, help me understand it. That's all I'm saying. Make it make sense.
You would have to ask one of them Manosphere brothers. I wouldn't know.
I do, but every time they give me the same old school behaviors of men shit. And the reality is that's not what they're doing.
Hey, I've still wanted to know what a real man is myself, and so your guess is as good as mine.
Interesting.
But now everything else I can listen with and agree with until you drew the line with the anal sex part. No, ma'am.
Just because you're out here doing things that gay men do don't make you gay. I'm just saying that it is.
That's the only choice gay men have, ma'am.
Well, they got other choices too.
They got a mouth and an ass. Women got 3 choices.
I'm just telling you, I'm just bringing up the very difficult topics that have been brought to my channel. Because by the way, you guys, my next feature is that topic, talking about
we're doing an anal sex show, damn it.
Well, they want me to talk about Boosie. I've gotten a lot of material about doing a show because Boosie said that you need to go ahead, cancel Lil Nas X because he's a reason that all these boys are going out here in women's clothes and doing women things. So
Lil Nas X has no effect on my children that don't watch him.
I don't know.
Lil Boosie just a nut any damn way.
He is just unchained, that guy. Man, talk about women. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got. Thanks for hanging out with me, my good people. Dang, how I still go 3 hours? I said I wasn't gonna let nobody on this thing.
Kevin is doing God's work. God damn it.
So I appreciate the entertainment. Big shout out to the chat because you guys are always so great. But like I said earlier, I do want you guys to go back and identify the racism that is. Find the racism. When you find the racism, bam, tag it. Let me know where it's at so I can go back to the video and review it myself, because at the end of the day, I'm looking for it, right? I would love to hold Sharon accountable because, damn it, Sharon, you're racist. You should never call a Black woman a liar. It's fucking illegal. said what I said, you guys. Later days.